ask you some questions about that group text chat, if I might.
Sure.
You would agree with me that on February 1st of 2022, that was 3 days after John O'Keefe passed away, correct?
Yes.
And at some point on February 1st of 2022, you were physically either at or near the Albert home at 34 Fairview in Canton, correct?
I could have been. I don't recall if I was there.
You recall watching what investigators were doing in the neighborhood on February 1st?
I do not. If you could show it to me, I could maybe reflect my memory. I do not recall that specific day.
You don't recall monitoring?
You don't recall.
If I texted that, you could show it.
You could show it to me. You could show it to me. Welcome. Mike Crawford here. Sorry I'm late. I'm going so hard. I had a little bit of an easier day for once, and I took a long nap. I needed it. I was up late last night, got up wicked early again today. Couldn't sleep, but I took a nice long nap. So I may be a little bit out of it. People are texting me, are you okay? Is everything? Yes, I am totally fine. Everything's good. I'm enjoying today. Today was a great little slow day. I may take off. I think I'm going to take off tomorrow. I may actually be doing a guest spot on another show. We'll see about that. Still trying to work that out. And I'm probably going to take off Monday as well. So this will be a fun little quick show tonight. Just going over the Matt McCabe text controversy. This stuff seemed to have gone viral today a little bit. Us just transcribing the text, the McAlbert group text. We got 2 pages of them. This page is like everywhere on social media right now, which I'm very happy about. I complained a little bit because we didn't get credit for it in some places. Some places cropped out even the Young Jerks logo, which is fine. I'm not too upset about it. It's great to see something you transcribed go viral like it did today. So awesome on that. We got the McCabe Albert group text out everywhere, which they should be. Tonight, I played a little bit to go out last night. Amazing show with two, not one, but 2 criminal defense attorneys on the show of the McCabe testimony, edited down a little bit last night to create this larger file of just like the best stuff from Matt McCabe due to the text, because there were a lot of breaks in the testimony. I put that together, put that on YouTube this morning, and we're just going to go through. We're going to play it again and just go through the Matt McCabe stuff because it was so good. It was such a great moment on Friday. And it's something that keeps you going for a little while till Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be an amazing day when we see the Jennifer McCabe cross. I'm also noticing, too, I just wanted to comment on some of the social media stuff going on. It's funny how the trolls used to attack me quite a bit. And right now what I'm noticing is they're going after Attorney Betterow. He is like the new lightning rod. And it's for one simple reason. You know why? Because the guy is so effective right now. He's coming on our show destroying. And they can't F with him. They can't mess with that guy. Attorney Mark Betterow is so on point. They are freaking the F out from our shows every night with him, where he just lays it out in simple terms, what he's seeing in the court, his opinion, backed by decades of experience. And one of the trolls, this guy, Nick Lanza, I don't know who he is. Somebody sent me a link saying this could be him, some little smug kid who's an administrative assistant with a bachelor's degree, just like I have. I was a history major. He might have been a political science major, pretty close. I think he holds the same degree as me, actually. But his school was a private school, so he paid a lot more for that same degree. But he's apparently, if that's the guy, I'm not sure if it's the same guy, but if it is funny. But he's now attacking the attorney Betterow because I'm a dog walker. That he goes on a dog walker show. How mad are they? And how little do they have to attack the young jerks about? Show how angry you are that you attack. You're such a classist. Like you think that a job makes me a better person, my job duty, or a worse person, or not credible because I walk dogs for a living. I do something for money that I love to do. It's the profession I was a school teacher at one point. I was a financial advisor for over 10 years, very successful, Series 7 life accident, health, disability insurance license. And I also had the next designation, which was a licensed financial advisor, able to give advice, an IAR, investment advisor rep with FINRA. I made a lot of money back then. Don't make as much money, probably having this dog walk business, but I'm much prouder and I'm much happier. And I feel like I'm a better person now doing this dog walk business than when I was as a financial advisor. So that type, Nick seems like the type of person that would be very impressed with one of his friends who managed hundreds of millions of dollars, but not so much with someone that had a small company that has hundreds of clients. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it with the class. It's the classism angle. I love working class people. I don't care if you pick up trash. If you're working and you're happy with your work, good for you. That's the way I look at it. And especially if you're self-employed. I went to get my hair cut today from my hairdresser. She's self-employed. She gets that same shit all the time. That woman kicks ass. Her family fled a country to make it here. Like there's no greater survivor than her. And she puts up with it. She gets it. And I didn't even bring up what they were saying about me. She was just telling me a story while she cut me my hair about some classism that she heard recently against her business and her job. It's unbelievable how some people's lives are so meaningless that you want to make fun of someone's job. You want to make fun of what someone does for a living. Who gives a shit? If you're paying your bills, if you're happy with it, if you're not hurting anyone, if you're providing a great service, do you know how my customers, it's funny. I used to go to people's houses, these millionaires' houses, to manage their money when I had, little money in the very beginning. Now I show up at sometimes, actually, in one case, it was the same customer. It was so weird. I used to manage their money and then I walk their dogs. It's so weird. And even one of my managers, we take care of it, my old financial managers, who's a boss of mine, we take care of his dog too. So there are people that I had as customers, as financial advisor, managing all their money. And now I take care of their dogs and they treat me better as a dog walker. So think about that. Like that is the level of service that they love and appreciate. And there's nobody that's the best thing about dog walking is the customers treat you really well and the dogs love you. So I just have to laugh when this opposition, that's the best they have to attack me with, that I walk dogs for a living, that I own a dog walk business, that I'm happy, that I'm in shape, that I'm fit, that I'm mentally competent. I'm very happy with what I do. I have no boss. It's so funny because I've been doing this journalism, reporting, activism for 25 years. And when I was a financial advisor, I was always scared shitless that one of my bosses was going to find out and I was going to get in trouble. And I was going to get fired. I used to use a fake name. I used to go by the name Mike Can. Some people probably recognize that if you're in the cannabis space. That was a big name, Mike Can. Why was I Mike Can? Because I didn't want to get fired from my job for doing medical cannabis activism. Today, I have no boss. Every single one of my customers knows what I do. They either love it or I fire them. Or they don't care. Most of them don't give a shit, but some of them actually love it. Some of them I walk into their house and they're like, "What's going on today with Karen Reed? Who's this Jennifer McCabe?" They're asking me all the questions. So if you want to attack me for my dog business, I love it. I bring it on. Bring on your classism. You wish you could, I just hope, Nick, someday in your life that you get so happy and confident with your work that you don't have to look down on other people for what they do. Because I suspect you're not happy wherever you are right now. Because if you were, you would not be trying to use my profession, what I do for a living, against me. That's clear as day. You seem very insecure, Mr. Nick Lanza. So that's one thing I want to start off on. Yeah. I'm looking at the chat right now, the super chat. This is going to be a fun night. I'm just going to chill tonight, play some videos. We got no guests. If you don't want to hear from me, sometimes people say I talk too much over the guests. Well, tonight there is no guest, so I'm doing all the talking tonight. I try not to talk over guests. I think I do a pretty good job of that. There are moments, definitely. We all have moments, but I try. But tonight, it's just me having fun. And I think we all need that after this week. It was a big week. Here's a comment from Suzanne. She just made a comment. She said, one of my horses, Seize the Gray, just won the Preakness Stakes. I had a great day too. Congratulations. Wow, that's huge. That's a major accomplishment. None of my dogs won any dog competitions. They could, though. That's awesome, Suzanne. Congratulations on that. Miss Shorty just became a new subscriber. And they say, new subscriber, love your work. Thank you so much, Miss Shorty. It's very nice of you to say. Thank you so much. You're very generous too for making the donation. I think that's a new, what is that? A new currency that's showing up. Is that Australian dollars? Did you just send us $7.99 in Australian dollars? Are you watching from Australia? Is that what that is? I'm trying to figure that out. Let me know. I love all the countries. I used to go out with a girl who was visiting from Australia in America. I fell in love with her when I was in my 20s. I almost went back to Melbourne, to live with her at one point. I really wanted to, but I decided not. She told me not to. She said, this happens to all of our Australian boyfriends and girlfriends, our American boyfriends and girlfriends. When we go travel overseas, they come back and it never works out. The culture shock, don't come. So I never went, but she's still doing great. And I love Australia because of that ever since. So I'm wondering, are you a new subscriber from Australia? Thank you so much, Miss Shorty and Suzanne, so far. First 2 super chats tonight. Checking out the comments. Let's see how many people are watching right now. Oh, wow. 662 watching me on YouTube. Be late. I'm sorry I was late. I hope you guys weren't worried about me. People were sending me texts. I was getting texts. Are you okay? We haven't seen you on social media. You're late for your show. What's going on? I was sleeping. I was getting like 2.5 hours of sleep. Now I'm loopy. Now I'm ready to go. I got my coffee ready. Let's do it. Let's do the slurp. Let's do the Kevin slurp. Kevin. How's Kevin doing? Has anyone done a wellness check on him? I saw he was still going the other day. Kevin. Oh, man. How are you still going, Kevin, after this? After these group texts? How the hell can you still be going with this conspiracy theory you have, Kev? How is he still going? Is Kevin going to comment on Matt McCabe's comment? Tell them the guy never went into their house. They're a good friend. They didn't call him by his first name, John. They didn't even use his last name, O'Keefe. They didn't say tell them O'Keefe never went into the house. They never said never tell them JJ, which they say they call them. They didn't say tell them JJ never went into the house. No, they didn't call him tell them Officer O'Keefe or Officer John O'Keefe never went into the house. No. Matt McCabe said tell them the guy never went into the house. The guy. I'm telling you, none of my customers, none of my dog walk customers call me the guy. They call me Mike. Well, they call me the dog walker. They don't call me the guy. That seems very cold. The guy. They're a good friend. As they scheme, as they plan how they're going to handle this. As they all the witnesses, if you're a witness in a case, you need to set up a group text and coordinate and scheme and plan and plot. That sounds like what guilty people do. That's not what witnesses do. And this is well before Turtle Boy. They have no excuse about these texts that this was about Turtle Boy, that they were all afraid of Turtle Boy. So they all came together to plan. No. No Turtle Boy on the scene when these texts went out. So disrespectful. Somebody died on your relative's front lawn, and you were at the party that night, and you call him that guy. Tell them the guy never came into the house. Matt McCabe, you're trash. You got cooked on you got so cooked the other night. They just boil the water, put you in the pot, and you smile away thinking you're winning. And then you realize they had the text and you couldn't see, and you had the cell phone, and you started twitching, and you weren't smiling so much, were you? You weren't smiling. Cooked. And what do you think's going to happen on Tuesday morning? I hope you're listening, Jennifer. Y'all getting cooked next. I can't imagine the text they have on you, Jennifer McCabe. You should have a hard time sleeping this week. You better get medicated. You better hit the pharmacy. Get some meds, Jen. Because you're next. Tuesday morning can't come fast enough for you. And we're just all going to enjoy it. And Unetti and Jackson and Little and Karen Reed. This is something I want to notice too, is while I'm cutting up this video of Matt McCabe, one thing just stuck out to me, wicked big time on this. And it reminds me of Trial 4, the way that Rosemary's, I don't want to say her last name, the attorney for the innocent man in the documentary Trial 4, Sean Ellis, the attorney says to Sean Ellis, you need to get involved in your defense. You need to know all these documents. Here's all the documentation on this table. We're going to go through it together. You need to become part of your defense. You need to know this case. You need to, and he's like, I'm down. And watching the trial on Friday, one of the things I noticed at a certain point in this video that you're going to see is that Karen Reed is picking out of the book the text that they're going to confront Sean with. That they're gonna put these texts before McCabe, and you know who's picking them out of the book and handing them to Unetti? It's Karen Reed. She is heavily invested in this defense. Some people say she looks tired. I'm sure she is. She's got MS. She's stressed out because her life is every day. She got all the video cameras. She got all these asshole trolls on her, and she's fighting for her life. But she is involved. You can see that she knows this case inside and out, and she's deeply involved in her own defense, and I love it. And I say, Karen Reed, if you're listening, go. You go, lady. You are kicking ass. Thank God for Karen Reed. Thank God she stood up. Didn't take their stupid plea. Crazy old fart said, didn't their daughter put him in the house while talking about Colin? Maybe. Seemed like it, didn't it? Lots of little slip ups. People are noticing. You guys are all involved. A lot of you women. I don't want to just say guys. Everybody is involved in this. This is what the other amazing part. Sean McDonough, great shows he's been doing. I've only gotten to catch some of them. I wish I got to watch more. I've been live so often. I haven't got to watch as much. But I got to say, Sean said he's taking a quick break until Tuesday because he doesn't want to give the McCabes any advice. He doesn't want to give them, sometimes Sean knows a lot. And I could definitely respect that. And he's got a point. We know that they're watching. We know that the judge is watching all of us. We know the judge is watching because she no longer is breathing heavy into the microphone. We know all these McAlberts are watching because just look at the way that they all of a sudden are worried about saying the word bukkake. So they started using the word Yuri instead to describe the state police Yuri. How do you say it? Buchanan? They started saying Yuri. They started saying him by the first name. When we started commenting on that, they tried to say his name. I think they came up with Buchanan or something. They still don't know how to say it, but they're no longer saying bukkake. They are definitely, all of these McAlberts are watching everything we do. My show, Sean's show, Turtle Boy, obviously. They watch every episode of Turtle Boy. But they're watching us all. It's no doubt about it. They're watching Olivia Lambeau. They're watching everyone on Twitter. They're watching all the justice groups. Yeah, they're watching. Because they got nothing else. They're looking for a life preserver somehow, somewhere. Got another donation. $20 just came in from Ask Bob. Thank you so much, Ask Bob. He said, Mike, no one clips retro videos better than you. It's always the essence. Your commentary is brilliant. Your interview's second to none. Wow. You let people talk. You gave a whole new life to Berkowitz retirement party. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That's also, I think, the feedback from the community. I think one of the things that I've learned over the years, and I think Turtle Boy does this very well, and obviously Sean does too. You gather evidence, you gather information, you gather ideas, feedback from the community that is supporting you and watching you. And that's big to me. You guys give me so many, when I kind of pretend complained that people were sharing the McAlbert group text, our transcription online without attributing who it came from, I'm not upset. I love that. I love it that you guys are sharing it. Even if it doesn't include the Young Jerks or a tag or whatever, it's okay. I love that it goes out. And I feel like the same thing for you. You guys share so much info with us and send us so much good stuff. I don't even know who told me. I have to look at my private messages, but like, I'll give you one example. Alibi McCabe. I didn't think of that. Somebody sent that to me and said, I should have called her Alibi McCabe. So I'm running with that. Alibi McCabe. We're talking about Allie McCabe. Alibi McCabe. I love it. I love the feedback loop we all get from each other. So I'm not going to take all the credit for that. And the Berkowitz retirement party is an example of that. I think guys like John Como, there are people out there who have been talking about the Berkowitz, retirement party and discussing it and looking at it. So again, not just me. I just think I listen a little and I look into what people are talking about. And it's a great video, that Berkowitz retirement party. So thank you so much, Ask Bob, for the donation tonight. I know that we're all a team, all of us together. That's why this is huge for Karen Reed. She's got a huge team, not just Alan Jackson, not just Yannetti, not just Liza Little, not just the family and the court behind her, but all of us. All the shows, all the people donating, all the people on Twitter, all the people on Facebook, all the posters. Making a difference. You guys this has definitely made a difference in this court case. So you should be proud. I'm proud of what I've done on this. And you all should be proud too. Crazy Old Fart just sent $5. I love that handle. Crazy Old Fart. Reminds me of a lot of dudes I grew up with. Their fathers. They would probably have the Crazy Old Fart coffee mug. I love it. Crazy Old Fart with his $5 said, did their daughter put him in the house while talking about Colin? I think so. I think that happened. I think also the father kind of did too with the timeline. Chris Albert. I mean, his timeline does not match up to Colin getting home early. And you know that the defense has the Life 360. And you know that the defense had those texts on Matt McCabe, and they didn't drop them until Matt McCabe. They could have used them when Brian Albert came on the stand. They could have used them probably when Allie McCabe came on the stand. But they waited for the right person, right time. And they picked Matt McCabe to drop them on. So I guarantee you there's more bombs that are coming. And they're just going to hold them for the right person, right time. And I think some of them, obviously, are going to get dropped on Tuesday morning with Jennifer McCabe. If I was Jennifer, I'd be very afraid. She's probably looking through her phone, see what she can find in the old texts. Because shit's going to get dropped on Tuesday morning. I just have a feeling. Edward Fitzpatrick just sent $1 donation. Thank you so much, Edward. Let me check all your comments over here, too. I really appreciate everyone supporting us. I want to check a couple more things, make sure I set up everything. Yeah, we're good. We're on everywhere. Good. Now I should say, which I don't often say, the Young Jerks, we're streaming always on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, The Young Jerks. You can follow us there. Also, I have a personal profile on Facebook called Mike Crawford, just my personal profile. It's a creator profile. We also stream on that one. So there's two different places on Facebook you can watch and follow us. We're also on X on Twitter at The Young Jerks. Easy. A lot of people watch there. We're obviously on YouTube. That's our biggest one. Right now, we have 944 people watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much. Sometimes we have one person watching us on Twitch. We're on Twitch. And the other place that we're on that we don't talk about enough is we're also on LinkedIn when they let us. Sometimes we have issues on LinkedIn. It doesn't stream. Sometimes it does. I think it's about the length of the streams, but we often stream on LinkedIn too, which is strange because we don't get a lot of comments there. And we also, I don't see how many people are watching when we stream them, but I figured I'd let everyone know. Those are the places we're streaming. If you're any of those platforms, you want to follow us. We also have a podcast, but I haven't been posting there as much. Unfortunately, the platform changed a little bit. It's much harder to post the podcast now. I'm going to try to work that out eventually. But you can also find us on iTunes over there and Spotify and all those other places. But you know the best place is always YouTube. But I just want to let you know in case we get into any trouble, which happened to Turtle Boy this week, you saw. So let's get back to some video. And I'll check out your comments. I know quite a few comments have come through here. So I'm going to check out the comments and I'm going to play a little video now. And we're going to talk about Mr. Matt McCabe and his supposed truthful testimony on Friday. Sidebar Bev. You know, the funny thing on this video, which I did, is I left in the sidebars to a degree. In terms, you see them stand up, you see them sit down. So you know a sidebar just happened, but we kind of skip, we edit out the sidebars. So it gives you the flow on this video. You'll see that, yeah, Bev was interrupting a lot. There was a lot of sidebars to get to this juicy material. But you know when there's a sidebar going on, that means they're getting to the good stuff. When Lally is objecting a lot. Oh, I love this. We just had a Twitch comment. McLizzy, one Twitch viewer here. Thank you so much, McLizzy. And look at that. We have one Twitch viewer now. Thank you so much for watching over there. Love it. I love someone's watching us on Twitch. I got another super chat come in. Let's see the super chat. Luna's mom. I hope Luna's mom's not mad at me. I missed some super chats last night. It got crazy. I didn't get to post them all. I hope Luna's mom, I didn't miss her. I hope I didn't miss any of her super chats last night because I did miss some of them. And I know some people are a little, not upset, but a little disappointed. I didn't post them all. I tried. It got crazy last night. I don't know if you could tell. And I was very tired. I'm exhausted, but I'm feeling so much better with that nap today. Here's Luna's mom. She says, Mike, more people need to follow the CPD audit. Need more Rita. Oh my God, you're a mind reader. Rita just sent me a message this morning, actually. And that was what I was thinking. I was like, I gotta get Rita back on the show to talk about the audit. They just had a Kenton Police Department audit meeting the other night. It was a crap show. We had to shut it down earlier because we wanted to get to Attorney Betterow, and he was waiting. He was on standby. Definitely going to be covering that more. And I'm going to go back and see if I missed anything spicy. But definitely, I agree. We need more Rita. I need to get Rita back on the show. Good comment. Thank you so much, Luna's mom. I also want to thank our mods, our moderators, especially MJ, who's been doing it a long time now. Thank you so much, MJ. All right, I'm going to go back. Yeah, look at this. This is a good one. We need a sidebar counter. We sure do. We should count how many sidebars. You know when there's a lot of sidebars to get into the good material. Luna's mom said, never mad, Mike. Stuff happens. Yes, it does. Last night happened. It was a good show, though. I really did enjoy last night's show. I thought it was a good show. I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people did like it. Some people were a little, I'll be truthful. Some people were like, we should just had Bettero. I didn't like that other guy. It's so funny. You guys pick sides. You guys, people have their favorites to come on the show, which I get. Bettero's unbelievable. He's one of my favorites by far, obviously. But I like Larry. Larry was good last night, and I think Larry added a lot to the show in terms of just telling us about the jury. He gets to see the jury that we don't get. So I'm probably going to cut up some of his video from last night and make a little video on it as well, because having someone with some legal experience that's there that can comment on what he's seeing from the jury is very helpful. And it was great to have him on the show. And I'm very appreciative of both of our guests last night. Larry Foreman, the DUI attorney, DUI guy plus, and also obviously attorney Mark Bettero, who has been amazing. He's done it night after night after night. All the video he has to watch every day to be up on the show. Very thankful to have the guests that we have on the show. And I'm very thankful for all of you watching. I really am. I can't thank you enough, because without you, we wouldn't get the guests like that. I wouldn't be able to sit down with folks. A lot of the reason they want to come on the show is because they know the audience. They know it's a good audience. They know that you'll be watching, you'll be here checking it out. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. Let's get back to this guy, this joker. Hopefully I didn't forward this. Okay. No, you know what I did? I forwarded it. Oh man. Let's get back to him from the beginning, because I want to watch this joker.
You texted.
Look at the smile. He's got the smile on right now, but he knows he's shitting himself. The smile just came off when it said, you texted. Look at that. Look how red he's getting. This guy was twitching. He's freaking the F out. He was not happy. Yeah, it was the oh my God moment. Oh shit. Oh F. Lally didn't prepare me for this. Yeah, his hands are shaking. Dude, I was worried he was going to have a stroke right there. Seriously. Yeah, he's shaking like a leaf. This is great. Let's just watch more of this.
Your wife, Brian Albert, and Nicole Albert, quote, troopers back out front, but in front of Asian house. Did you not?
If I texted that, you could show it to me.
You can show it to me so I can memorize it and share it with Jennifer McCabe and all my other friends after I get off the stand. Seems like that was Matt's idea there. Let's see what I could gather from what you're going to ask me. Show it to me. You just got a super chat from I Gotta Know, $2. They say, I repeat, more drugs than ETOH in this case, in my honest opinion. I'm not sure what ETOH is. I might have to look that up. I don't know about the drugs. I think the drug of choice among the McAlberts seems to be alcohol. I mean, there could be some stuff we don't know about. A lot of times, the white powder goes along with the alcohol. So maybe sometimes steroids for cops too. Who knows? There was a friend of the family there who was a police officer who had some addiction pill issues. So looks like he got tipped off maybe by Berkowitz. That's a rumor around town about a federal inquiry. So who knows? It could be. But it seems like the big drug that we see, I got to know, is alcohol. And that's the real problem. Another super chat came in. Vanny Annie. She said $9.99, says, I saw the witness list for the prosecution. There's been 33 witnesses so far. Looks like another 30 on the list. Exactly. And it's funny about that witness list. It seems like some of the witness lists that have been leaked online, the order actually seems very on the mark to how they called people, except for one name. Who do you think the name is that they should have already called that seems like they skipped over them? Who do you think that name is? Who hasn't testified yet? Who's the mystery guy that hasn't testified? There it is right there. Could Higgins have parked in the garage? Where is Higgins? That's the real question. Proctor is on the list. Buchanan is on the list. Iva and Tully is on the list. And some other Mass State Police and some, evidence people, a lot of Mass State Police, but they're all at the end of the list. It seems crazy that they put them at the end of the list. You'd think they would have started with Proctor and Buchanan right at the beginning, but they didn't. And I'm not sure they'll ever call Proctor. I think a lot of people's suspicion that they're going to call Buchanan and Tully instead of Proctor's is correct. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. I think the defense will end up calling Proctor. But Higgins is a guy on the list that if you look at all these witness lists, he should have already been called. Where is Higgins? He's like, where's Waldo? Where is Higgins? Brian Albert was looking for Higgins. So that's going to be interesting. Kerry Roberts, another name that's coming up here. Kerry Roberts will be interesting too. I don't think she's going to hold up. I think Kerry Robbins, if I were her, I would be having some sleepless nights right now. If I was Kerry Roberts, I'd be calling the feds. Save yourself, girl. Call the feds. Tell them everything you know. Call Karen Reed's defense team. You don't want to go down there for these people. Is a good comment. What happens if the defense calls Proctor and he pleads the fifth? Well, I think that's the end of the case. Don't you? I mean, they could continue it, but I don't think any jury is going to go along with it when your lead prosecutor pleads the fifth. I think the case is all done. I think the case is done now. It's just that the prosecution hasn't rested their case. But how is this going to get better for them? We just got a new member, Lisa Shorty. I don't think it's going to get better because the whole thing is to defend the McAlberts. They have not put Karen Reed on trial. If you're watching court, all they've done is try to defend Colin and the McAlberts. It's all they're doing. It's a defense of the McAlberts. I love this comment. Vanny Annie says Higgins is at Alan Jackson's vacationing. He probably is. Probably vacationing at Alan Jackson's house in California. We're waiting out until the defense calls him. That could happen. You never know. Maybe he is on vacation at Alan Jackson's house right now. That would be something. Maybe he's dog sitting for Alan Jackson while Alan Jackson's out here. Higgins needs work. Higgins is watching Alan Jackson's dogs right now, maybe. Good point. Thank you so much, Vinny Annie. Nick Rocco is a guy who's reporting. He reports quite a bit of information. I've never seen him be incorrect with his information. I believe he was the one that was posting that Higgins is on a wait list for the Cambridge Fire Department. If you're an ATF agent, you're not looking to be a firefighter. You're not on a wait list. So that is interesting. That's why I say it looks like Higgins is looking for some work right now. Let's get back to the video. I love all your super chats. I love all my commentary, all your comments. I'm looking at them. I'm watching. I'm trying to keep up tonight. But let's play some more video. This is the good stuff right here.
Yes.
Oh, 2-1-5-0.
No, show it to him. Don't.
I'm sorry.
Attach it?
Oh, you show it to me.
Someone said, I highly doubt Higgins flipped. It would implicate him in a murder of a cop. I mean, you never know. I don't know. I don't know if he's flipped. I kind of doubt it, but some people have insinuated that he has not only gotten a proffer, that he may have signed a full immunity agreement with the federal government. And it's possible. We don't know what he did. What if he was just a witness? What if he was an accessory, someone that just helped clean up the scene or was a witness? In that case, I could totally see the feds offered him a deal. But, you still have state charges, obviously. So who knows? It's going to be very interesting to see where Higgins lies right now. I'm doubtful too. But it sure seems like he's not testifying for the state right now. Or they're at least, it seems like they're afraid to put him on the stand. Or he's not willing to go on the stand for the state. Something is up with Higgins. He is the wild card right now. And I think it's a wild card for the defense. That seems very obvious right now. I can't wait. I cannot wait till Tuesday, this cross of Jennifer McCabe. And like Betterow said last night, she's already very prickly just being asked questions by her own guy, Adam Lowley. Can you imagine what she's going to be like on the cross on Tuesday morning? Oh my God, we got another one on Twitch. Are we blowing up on Twitch tonight? Holy crap, we got 2 people on Twitch. Amazing. 2 of you are watching. Thank you so much. We're up to 2 viewers on Twitch, and we got 2 comments from Twitch tonight. Anonymous Rumbus said, "Can you get Wendy onto your show sometime?" I wish. I mean, I don't really wish it because I don't think I would enjoy it that much beyond like for 5 minutes making fun of her. But she's blocked me. Come on. She's not coming on the show. Her and Grant have had me blocked on all their social media for a long time, especially Grant. Grant's had me blocked for years. Wendy, within the last year, has blocked me. She's never going to unblock me. She would never come on the show because she knows what would happen to her. And between you and me, she has actually been on the show way back in the day when I was friendly with Grant. She came on and got a puff interview for me. I had no idea that she was involved in the Duke lacrosse and all that other crap. I wish I had known back then. That's the only way Wendy will ever go on a show like this on this level. If she knows she's going to get an easy puff interview, but she knows I would absolutely destroy her. I bring Mark Betterow up. I bring the assassin up. You think she'll ever go on a show with Mark? Not unless she thinks she's going to get away with something. Not unless she thinks that, the host is going to be favorable to her. I mean, it seems like she doesn't even want to do court TV anymore because she knows how much of a fool she looks. All right, let's play some more of this. Look at this guy. Look at him looking at the judge. Judge Bev, bail me out. Bail me out, brother. Bail me out, sister. Help me out. Help a McCabe out.
Show it to
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Miller
sorry.
and don't reference what it is.
You think this is my first try?
But yeah. Yannetti is the man. You see that? He just told the judge off even. You think this is my first trial? Bev knows Yannetti's that this isn't Yannetti's first trial. And he smiled. I love this guy. This might be the only thing that I disagree with Betterow on, actually. He said that Alan Jackson is clearly the leader, the most alpha on the defense team. I think they're both alphas. I think they're both leaders. There is something about David Yannetti. I love this guy. I love Jackson too. He's funny. I think that Betterow is probably correct that Jackson is the lead cross. Like if they're going to have a difficult witness, Jackson has that. He's really good at it. But Yannetti's got those skills too. I mean, look what he did to Matt McCabe here. Some people on X, even supporters I saw, were criticizing Yannetti about his cross. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? The way he ended this cross. Yannetti's got balls, man. He's very confident, very smart. His opening was amazing. So I think there's 2 leaders on this defense. I think it's actually 3. I think usually 3 is a crowd. And I like Liza Little, but I think that she's obviously, she's the junior legal mind on the team, the least experienced of the 3 of them. But I think there's 3 leaders on the defense. I think it's Karen Reed, Yannetti, and Jackson. Those 3. And I wouldn't F with any of them. I wouldn't F with any of them individually. As a team, those 3, those are the last 3 you want to F with. You think this is my first? Do you think this is my first dog walk, sir? Do you think this is my first time a little putz with a bachelor's degree like I do, Nick, has tried to come at me about dog walking online? I think this is my first trial. Yannetti is the man. Now what's up? My video's not working. Come on. Oh, here we go. He's having a laugh. There we go.
Thank you.
I'm showing you a document, sir, and if you look up or look at it by yourself and look up at me when you're done.
I don't use glasses, but I can't see this. So maybe I need glasses.
Huh. Maybe
I'm making it out. I got it.
I do have a.
Is it light?
No, he says he doesn't.
No, it's
wear
not.
it.
It's just dark, but I got it.
I just need more time to memorize this so I can share it with the team. So I can share it with Brian Higgins and Jennifer McCabe and the whole team of us. I need to put this in my memory. That's what it looks like here, doesn't it? Trying to memorize everything. Beaver Cleaver, they call him. He's got that Beaver Cleaver, yeah. Maddie. Look at this clown.
What the hell?
What did you just say that? What the hell? What is that?
If you're struggling,
I'm reading mine, right? The middle one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You take
yeah.
all your time.
I'm reading mine.
got
He's just read them all. He's reading them all. You know he's
I
reading
see it.
every single one of them.
If I may just grab that
Yes.
back.
Thank you.
Look at
Having reviewed that document.
he knows he's
Dropping
after.
someone off,
Oh,
picking
I
someone-
just fucked it up.
Your last name.
He knows he's after right there. Of course, I just ruined it. Where the hell were we? I'm losing my mind today. I'm having fun with you guys. I just got another super sticker from Amy. Thank you so much for donating tonight.
Was the Chungs,
I had no idea.
No, let's bring it back here. Here we go.
the group text that you had with Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, and Nicole Albert, correct?
Yes.
And in terms of the question that I asked you, you now acknowledge that you testified troopers back out front, but in front of Asian House, correct?
That's correct.
Mr. McCabe, what is an Asian house?
The next door neighbors to the Alberts were Asian.
So you mean that a family of Asian origin lived next door?
Yes.
They were the next door neighbors to your brother-in-law and sister?
Not a good look for them. Look at him. He knows he's after right there. What's done behind closed doors is usually the real you. The real Sean McCabe, the Matt McCabe, I said Sean, his brother. The real Matt McCabe.
In-law?
Correct. They lived, if you come out of Fairview, they lived to the right of the Alberts.
And did you know their last name was the Chungs?
I had no idea that. I've never met them. I don't know their last names. I just knew it was an Asian family next door.
And you didn't feel the name?
Yeah, and Liza Little is a partner at the firm, of the Jackson firm. So obviously she's a real attorney too. Like anyone pushing back on Liza Little's competency, or she's good. She could be a lead attorney, no doubt about it. I'm sure she's a lead attorney in many cases. And she is a partner. So obviously means she owns a piece of Alan Jackson's business, which is pretty major. So got three major people right there. No doubt about it.
The need to ask their names or try to call them by their names.
I've never met them. Sorry.
Objections sustained. You know what, Ms. Giannetti, let's come to sidebar, please.
More sidebar. Look at it. Drink that water, Matt. Drink that water, buddy.
When you did tell the group chat about the troopers being at that house,
I love this one.
nobody asked you to clarify which house.
Ed, I don't know if you're a McAlbert, you're a Turtle Boy hater, or you're actually in the middle of the road listening to these fools. But Ed Gein. I think you're named after a serial killer, which is kind of interesting. Not. But Ed writes, someone pointed out that the Reed's car had a backup anti-crash sensor to stop or slow down the car if it was going faster than 10 or 15 miles an hour. Did it? Do we definitely know that? Has it come out in court? I don't know, man. I've heard that about her backing up into John O'Keefe's car. They say that she must have disabled it. That means I'd be very careful you listen to any people on this stuff until we see what's actually presented in court. We don't know what's in her car. And a lot of times what you're hearing is just BS from the Kevin side. They just make it up. And that's the one thing I think should be crystal clear at this point. That if you're listening to Grant Smith Ellis or Kate Peter or Kevin, you got to examine your head. So much shit that they've said has turned out to be untrue. Like Kevin, no true bill. The federal case is over. The federal info will never be shown in court. Third-party defense will never be allowed. They'll never talk about the dog in court. All this stuff that is not true, has not been proven true. They'll never bring up Chloe in court. I don't know what you guys are Chloe got brought up in court. The third party, even though Bev is pushing back on it, it's pretty, if you don't think the third party will be presented in court, I love to know what you think the jurors are thinking right now. What do you think they think about Colin Albert right now? After Allie McCabe basically pointed the finger at him by defending him. Her defense pointed the finger at him. So I wouldn't listen to anything they have to say. Nothing. All this shit is crap. And everything we've seen so far in court is a defense of the McAlberts, no proof that Karen Reed did it. We have no proof that she did it. The only thing they have is a couple EMTs that have conflicting stories about what she said at the scene, which is unreliable, which I don't think she ever admitted it at the scene based on the testimony. If I was a juror, I would not put any faith in that testimony at this point. The conflicts between the personal relationships, the conflicts between what they wrote in their reports and what they said after they talked to Proctor, the conflicts among themselves. That evidence is just put it all aside. And even the bigger issue with confessions, I don't think she confessed. I'm with Betterow on that. But let's pretend that that was a confession. Let's just go with it. Even though I don't think it's factual or truthful and I don't think it happened, pretend it did. False confessions happen every single day. And why do they happen? A lot of times it's about pressure. Usually it's about they put me in an interrogation room for 4 hours and I was a weak person or I'm not that intelligent or I wasn't feeling good. And I just gave in to these cops. They kept bullying me, and I just figured I would admit it to get out of there. They think a lot of these defendants think they'll get out of it by admitting to it. That's how a lot of false confessions happen. Now, Karen Reed is under this extreme duress of being in this situation of finding her dead boyfriend, who I believe she was in love with. And what is she worried about? She's talking about the kids. She's worried about the kids. She was under extreme duress. You could tell she was freaking out. If you listen to any of the videos, the audios, or any of the testimony from even the witnesses, she was freaking out. That is duress. So if anyone was going to do a false confession, it would be her. And she's got in her ear, the people around her are these vipers telling her that she did it. So if there was a confession, it was a false confession. It's very clear. And I don't believe there was ever any confession. Here's Haley Wolf said, do you feel like Paul's demeanor changed by the end of Friday? Oh, yeah. It's interesting to watch how Paul O'Keefe's demeanor has changed throughout the trial. When they revealed that non-evidence that they thought was a gotcha, that little video picture thing, he stared at her. He hasn't been that confident since then, has he? I still think he's drinking that McAlbert Kool-Aid. I think he's disappointed. I think he's disappointed on what's going on in court, but I believe he's still a true believer in the McAlberts. But his demeanor has changed immensely. Absolutely. I hope Paul comes to his senses. I hope the mom comes to her senses. I think the dad probably has secretly. The dad is on the defense list. The dad may be called for Karen Reed. That's going to be interesting.
Else you were talking about, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Did anyone ask you to clarify?
Nobody asked me to clarify that I recall.
In fact, Brian Albert responded with just a question right now.
Nobody asked me to clarify, and then Brian Albert texted him to ask him to clarify. That is a lie. Mr. McCabe, you're a friggin' liar. No one asked you to clarify. Here's the next text. Brian Albert's asking you to clarify. Friggin' liar, dude. You're a liar. If I worked with you or worked under you as an employee, I would be looking for a new job. I would not trust anything you had to say, Matt McCabe. You friggin' liar. You phony ass liar. I don't want to hear anything about justice for JJ when you just sit there and friggin' lie about what happened, you scumbag. You're a scumbag, Matt McCabe. You lied. You got up there and lied. You didn't give two shits. You or Brian Albert didn't give two shits about John O'Keefe. He's just some guy. I don't want to hear justice for JJ. Wait, was that named after your wife too, who calls herself JJ? You scumbag. You piece of dirt.
Do you recall that?
Yes, I think that was on the screen. You just
Oh, now he recalls it. Oh, I think that's on the screen after he just denied it. How easily you lie, Pumpkinhead.
showed me.
And you
Stop drinking, dude. Be a better parent. Stop lying for these scumbags.
responded yes, correct?
Did I get to see all the text or no?
Did I get to see all the text? Can I show it to my wife later while we're drinking Bud Lights? Less Bud Light, buddy. More figure it out. Soul searching. Go see a mental health counselor. Maybe go to the church. I don't even believe in church or organized religion, but you need Jesus, brother. I'm breathing hard. I'm
Yes.
pissed.
I'm going to give you
Pumpkinhead,
the
yeah.
previous page in case you need
Look at this
Just give it to
pumpkinhead.
Thank you.
We all need Jesus. After this
Just if
case,
you
we
want it,
do.
if you need the others,
Jesus.
No problem. Thank you.
And again, just look at it silently to yourself and look up the reading.
Look how long he takes to read this. Look at him. Vika. He's trying to do the photographic memory so he can share it all with Jen later.
So am I to assume where you said Brian Albert said right now?
Yeah, would you like to see that?
So would that be the last one and then this is the next one?
I
just
understand,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You tell me.
Okay.
If we-
James White tells me to take a few hits. I do. I need a couple hits, James. I got some good stuff actually too. I do. I didn't get any. I fell asleep and I woke up. I didn't get my pre-show few hits, but I'll be taking quite a few hits after the show. It's gonna be a nice high too. And I don't even get high, but this stuff might get me high. We'll see. Vanny Annie said that was a beautiful rant. I hope so. I don't understand it, man. How you get up there and friggin' lie about this guy. And then you act like you were his best friend. Justice for JJ. He was our friend. He was our friend. That guy on the lawn there. Tell him that guy didn't go in the house. He's not Paul. He's not John O'Keefe. He's not Boston police officer John O'Keefe. He's not John. He's not even O'Keefe. He's not JJ. No, he's that guy. That was the text, that guy. That says it all about you, McCabe.
Sure.
Thank you.
You phony. You and your wife are big phonies. Yeah, their favorite color, all of them, is clear. It was a clear substance, clear liquid.
That's what I was just looking for.
If I may collect the document.
That's what he was looking for. He was looking for another after party after the bar closes with his wife and his kid. Bring your kids. I wonder why Allie. Why did she go to the big drinking party when Colin was there?
I didn't read the rest of it.
No, take your time.
She's probably doesn't want to hang out with her parents at a at a drinking party.
Please.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You would agree with me that after you told the group,
Yeah, I wonder what's in. I wonder what that clear liquid is in the plastic bottle that this slob keeps sipping on every time they go to a sidebar. What's that clear liquid? The clear liquid. He's drinking out of a plastic bottle. I don't know what could that clear liquid be. Good comment, Darlene. Darlene says, using his thought patterns, the clear liquid he is drinking is vodka. I would not doubt it. I think if anyone needs a stiff one, it's Matt McCabe right now. Look at him. Look how red his face is. Not smiling anymore. Where are those big white teeth, buddy? Where's that big white teeth smile? Big Irish smile. Where is it, Matty? Someone said, I wonder what Albert and McCabe are doing tonight. They're probably hanging out, probably planning their strategy, probably drinking it up all night, playing the game of let's write up some good bullshit.
in this group text that the troopers were back out front in front of that house, Brian Albert's response was right now.
Yes.
And then you said yes, correct?
Yes.
And then Brian Albert replied, okay, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. As of the reading,
So, is that how he replied?
That's what it just said. Yes.
All right. Now, at that point,
Miss Shorty says they're in these chats tonight. I guarantee I've seen a few comments. I don't know if our mods are here. I may have to get a little stricter on moderation here, unfortunately. I really didn't want to be super strict in the chats and all that. But my mods have pointed out the reasons, and I think that we may have to get a little more strict on the moderation, unfortunately, because these are awful people. I guarantee you they are watching tonight too.
you texted the group that you were trying to get a picture of what you were seeing, correct?
I hope they don't miss us when they're in jail, because I don't think they'll be able to watch us when they're in jail. So I hope they get their fill of the young jerks while they're still free.
I didn't see that on the text.
And you don't deny that you said that in the text,
Can you
correct?
show me the text, please?
Oh, sure. Oh, did you say you didn't see it in the
I didn't
text?
see that.
I'm
No.
sorry. That's probably because I didn't give it to you.
I did see that. Share another page with me so I can remember it and bring it back to my wife. Oh, look at this.
Yes.
We got another Twitchy. We're rolling on Twitch tonight. I think we're up to 3 people. Supergirl 4x4 on Twitch says $1 for every objection by prosecution, at least $1,500 richer. I know, right? Can you imagine if we got $1 for every objection from Lally? Absolutely. Someone said, what I don't understand, they're allowed to have tablets in jail. I like it. I think it's a good thing, actually. There should be no rackets charging families hundreds of thousands of dollars to talk to their inmate family members. That's just, extortion to the families. That's the way it was before they, started these tablet programs. And look at Turtle Boy when he went in. Thank God he had that tablet. I'm glad they have tablets. I would like to see much more money put into jails, not to profit these big corporations with scams on how to charge people for phone calls to talk to their loved ones in jail. I would like to see some for people in jail that find themselves in situations that actually can reform themselves. And I know it's a small percentage. I know most people who are guilty of heinous crimes, there's almost no reforming them. But there are some people that can be reformed and want to be reformed and want, training, job training. A lot of times crime ends up happening to people because they're poor. They're in poverty. So I would love to see more money put into jails for the actual prisoners. I know that's controversial. I get that people want to punish them, but you also have to keep in mind that there's a certain percentage. I don't know if it's 1%, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever that percentage is, that are innocent, like Karen Reed. So keep that in mind too. The way we treat our prisoners says a lot about us as a society. So I think we should have some prison reform. And I think that tablets in jail are actually a good thing. I'm not against that stuff at all. Even for the awful McAlberts, if they end up there, which I feel like they should.
Have you shown those both to Mr. Lally?
That's the next page after this one. I'm showing you 2 pages.
Okay.
And that's the other thing. Good point, Joe Biffle. And you know who else likes, I think, the tablets, honestly, are the prison guards. Turtle Boy pointed this out. It keeps the prisoners occupied, keeps them happy, gives less, less problems for the guards. I mean, when your prisoners are occupied with their tablet, less, free time to start shit, I think it is also very helpful. And it is a dangerous job being a prison guard. No doubt about it. Less fights. Exactly, Lauren. And something that a prisoner, it's something that gives the guards in the prison a leverage over the prisoner. If you act up, if you get in fights, you lose your tablet. So I think that, and I'm not sure about that. If they can take the tablet away for issues, I have a feeling they probably can if they put them in solitary, but definitely less fights. So I think it's good for, who else has talked about that? Dave McGrath. I don't know if he's still a CEO or was, but he talked about that too, that the tablets are good for the guards.
Again, read it to yourself and look up at me when you're done.
Yeah, I agree. Correctional officers, high suicide rate of most occupations, super sad. Exactly. Who else has a high suicide rate is, turns out, is dentists. Yeah, I know this because I used to sell the disability insurance and life insurance, and you used to always have a hard time getting all our dentists insured. It used to be a big time, hard to get them disability insurance, especially. Yeah. And who probably does not have, who probably has one of the lowest suicide rates of any occupation, I bet? Dog walkers. I bet dog walkers are among, vets again. Vets also have high, vets, funeral directors. Those are the tough jobs. That's why, honestly, anyone doing those jobs, especially like vets, I love veterinarians. God bless your veterinarian. You got to love them. You got to treat them good. I know people see them at their saddest point and it's easy to unload on them. I am so thankful for my dentist, number one. My dentists are awesome, and our vet. So be very thankful for those occupations that people go into. Healthcare is another one, obviously. Police officers, fire department, they all have high suicide rates, and no doubt about it. Stressful jobs. I bet dog walkers is probably the least stressful. I sleep very well at night. How lucky am I? And the dude's coming after me for it. Like, dude, you wish you had my life. You wish you had the happiness that I have right now. My life was not always happy. There used to be a time when I was managing all that money. I worked at AIG 2008 during the financial crash. I had a lot of working class customers. I could not sleep at night. And if you know anything about financial markets and what happened in 2008, especially with the company called AIG that I work for, you understand why I couldn't sleep at night. And you also understand why I am so happy about what I do now. Love it. I love it. I love that I can walk dogs for a living.
Do you have a phone with a flashlight on you?
Here's another one. I work in IT and getting abused all day, but my life outside is great. It's a balancing act. I'm happy for you, Amy, in Boston, that you got some skills and that you have a great life outside of it. But hopefully someday you get into a space that you're not getting abused all day. I hope that for you. And I know exactly what you mean. I can't tell you how many jobs I worked where I was abused. Even the supposedly good careers where you're a white collar. Now, any type of job where you have to sit in a desk or a cubicle. I mean, I did it for a number of years. I think when you're 20, you're willing to do anything, and you should be. But when you get to be my age, it's like you want something different. I have no boss. The only boss I have is myself and the dogs that I'm walking. And if any of the customers give me crap, I just fire them. Like I'm like that guy on Seinfeld, the soup guy, where he says, "No soup for you, no dog walks for you." People want us. They fight for us. They're like, we have customers that are on wait lists waiting to get our service. John Rady says, worked at AIG Boston, a real dog pound. I wonder what part of AIG did you sell the insurance? Because AIG is a big company conglomerate. I worked for the part of AIG that was called AIG Valak at one point. I don't know if you know about them. They used to do healthcare, higher ed. A lot of 403B plans. And, when I started there, it was the best financial job I ever had. It was amazing. They gave me a book of business. I was managing money. We were winning accounts. I used to go to Shriners Hospital, Mass General, Brigham and Women's, UMass Boston. I covered all the public schools, all the hospitals, a lot of nurses and doctors. I loved that job. It was great until AIG, effed it up, the parent company. Until every year they recorded record profits, and then they were basically insuring the entire financial industry. And when companies were hurting and needed the insurance that AIG was providing them, the reinsurance, they didn't have the money. So it was like too big to fail. That was what AIG was about, and that's what I was living with. Is they were calling my customers behind my back when I first started. They would say, you could sell whatever you want as long as you sell, product. So I would sell the best shit. And we had access to everything. It was low cost. It was awesome. I loved it because I had worked in this field. This was like my 4th or 5th position in the industry. So I was like on heaven. I was like, this is great. I got a book of business. I can make people money. I don't have to sell crap. And then at the end, it was put these people in shitty contracts and tell them that it's good for them, even though it's not, because we want to lock them up in a 9-year, contract for their money so they can't move because our company is in a scandal right now and people don't trust our company, and we'll give you a bonus to do it. And I didn't do it. I'm like, I'm not selling this product. I know what's going on. I know that they're lying. And I couldn't sleep at night. So to go from that to where I'm at now, I'm so happy. I know all about the corporate rat race and the struggles and the backstab. And then when the company really screws you over like that, like what happened with me and my customers, I'm in a happy place. You little maggot, Nick Lanza, whoever you are, you think you're going to put me down because I walk dogs for a living? I don't think you can handle walking dogs, bud. I think you're too soft. I keep going back, man. I gotta focus here.
Did I get to see all the text or no?
Yeah, quality of life does matter, especially as you get older too.
And give you the previous page.
It's okay to have a
Just give it
crappy
to 'em.
quality of life, in my opinion, when you're in your 20s. you know. But when you get older, it's like, come on, you know, all I got left is time. The most important thing to me now is time. More than money, more than status, more than career, more than it's time and your family and the people that you love. And the quality of the work that you do too. I love what I'm doing. I love walking dogs and I love doing the show.
Thank you.
I'll just give you one, and if you need the other, just let me know.
No problem. Thank you.
And again, just look at it silently to yourself and look up at me when you're done.
Look at his eye. Can't wait till he brings out the flashlight again.
So am I to assume where you said Brian Albert said right now?
Yeah, would you like to see that?
So would that be the last one and then this is the next one?
What you,
I'm just making sure.
I understand.
I'm just making sure for Jen later.
Okay.
Can I get that page? Look at him.
Thank
Look at him. He's like a kid in a candy store. Give me that other page. Where's that other page? I want to look at all the text. Because Matt doesn't remember what he said. Someone said, "How did I get connected to Betero?" It's funny. I think we have Wendy Murphy to thank for that. Thank you, Wendy Murphy. You know, Betero was posting on Twitter and X, and I saw that he was going after Wendy Murphy. He was calling out for her bullshit, and I looked him up and I said, "Oh my God, this guy's a real friggin' criminal defense attorney. Like, look at this guy. Like, he's the real deal." So I just hit him up. I said, "Dude, I'd love to have you on the show." It was as simple as that. And actually, I think a couple people that follow us also were mentioning him and saying, "Hey, that's a guy you should check out." So again, listen to the audience. You guys actually helped me with that too. Yeah, United and Jackson they are phenomenal. I hope to someday get those guys on the show after this is over. That would be amazing. We'll see. I think everyone's going to be trying to get them. They'll probably have Netflix deals and exclusive. They'll probably be on Oprah. Oprah will probably get them before I have any chance. They'll probably be doing exclusive deals.
Yep. That's what I was just looking for.
If I may collect the document.
Yeah, Wendy Murphy. But you know
I
what?
didn't read
Wendy
the rest of
Murphy
it.
brings people together. Grant brings people together. I can't tell you how many people I'm friends with because of some of these nutcases out there. That's the beauty of it. The Wendy's and the Grants and the Kimberleys and all these other nitwits. They actually bring people together. Like, who would ever think that I would be friends with all these folks that are Trumpers? I'm obviously anti-Trump. I have so many Trump friends now. I always did, obviously, from growing up. A lot of my friends, even one of the best dudes I love so much is a Republican that I went to college with. Mike. We'll just say Mike. He's a great guy. So I got a lot of, obviously, and I've had Republicans on the show before. You know, I used to be a libertarian way back in the day, but I am a liberal, obviously, and I'm voting Joe Biden. Don't kid yourself. But how many new Trumper friends do I have? And it's funny because I find them to be better people than a lot of these fake liberals that attack me and come after me because I supported Turtle Boy in this story. So I think it's great that they bring so many people together, quality people. Friendship doesn't, you don't have to bring politics into your friendship with people. And also, quality people, it doesn't matter what their politics are. If they're a good person, I don't care. I really have never cared like that. If you're a scumbag and have the same politics as me, I'm not going to defend you just because we have the same politics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and most politicians, someone said that, are dirtbags. Yeah, and most of them, even the ones who have the best intent after a while in office, they get sold out. You can't, that's the nature of the position. So, and basically what I am is an independent. I mean, that's really what I am. I have some progressive values. I lean progressive in some of the ideas and policies, but really what I am, have always been, is a nonpartisan. I'm not a Democrat. I'm independent. I'm unenrolled. I vote for the best person, the best candidate. And sometimes that could be a Republican. To me, character matters more than party. And that's why I don't like Trump. I don't think he's got good character. I'm sorry that pisses some people off, but that's just the way I feel. And I'm not going to be upset if you feel differently. We can have different opinions. We should just come together on non-political shit. I mean, that's the ideal. And that's what I like about Karen Reed. And that's what I liked about the cannabis movement that I used to be big time into. Politics don't matter when you have a cause that you're interested in together. Left and right coming together, that's what we should all want. Amy says, thoroughly enjoying your streams and vids. Great commentary and guests. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, Amy. And thank you so much for Susan, another new member. Damn, we got so many members now. It's getting crazy. Thank you so much. Never expected this.
Okay, thank you.
Here's a comment. Someone said, I'm
You're
a
welcome.
Democrat, but there's no way I'm voting for Joe Biden. He's not all the way there anymore. I feel like that about Trump. I mean, are you voting for Trump? Who are you voting for? That's what I want to know, Wendy. I mean, you can vote third party. I don't like any of those third party people. I used to be a third party guy. I used to vote Libertarian or Green Party. It's like a throwaway. It's a waste of vote in the general election for president, anyways. I'm voting for Joe Biden because he protects workers. I think workers in this country get screwed. And I think that they actually do stick up for workers. That's why I'm voting for Biden. And M says it best. They are both too old. They're definitely both. I would love to see someone younger on both sides. But my big issue about Biden, the guy still can ride a bicycle. Put Trump up on a bicycle and see how he does. I know Biden fell off his bicycle, but he got back up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're going to see Donald Trump on a bicycle. I think as slow and, Joe Biden is, I think he's much more with it. But let's not talk about that. That's not why we're here. Let's not talk about any of that. We're done talking politics tonight. All right. I know a lot of you are voting for Trump. It's okay. Let's talk about these scumbags over here.
You would agree with me that after you told the group in this group text.
All right, what I'm going to do, I got to step out for 1 second. I'm just going to continue to play the video. I'm going to come right back. Just give me a couple minutes, and I think it's good because I'm getting sidetracked by the comments, and we're not getting through enough of this video. I want to be done by 9. When Turtle Boy got on, it's already 9:35, and we haven't got through the video at all, really. So I'm going to just take a quick break, a little check-in on my doggy break, and I'll be back, but I'm going to play the video. So stay here. Don't leave me, please.
The troopers were back out front, in front of that house. Brian Albert's response was, right now?
Yes,
And then you said yes, correct?
yes.
And then Brian Albert replied, okay, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. As of the reading,
So, is that how he replied?
That's what it just said, yes.
All right. Now, at that point, you texted the group that you were trying to get a picture of what you were seeing, correct?
I didn't see that on the text.
And you don't deny that you said that in the text,
Can you
correct?
show me the text, please?
Oh, sure. Oh, did you say you didn't see it in the text?
I didn't see that,
I'm
no.
sorry. I think that's probably because I didn't give it to you. May I approach?
Yes. Have you shown those both to Mr. Lally?
That's the next page after this one. I'm showing you 2 pages.
Okay.
Again, read it to yourself and look up at me when you're done.
Do you have a phone with a flashlight on you?
I don't have a phone on me. If you have a flashlight, I'll be able to see it.
Do you mind? Oh,
Just
needs-
dark.
Madam Court Reporter, Mr. Clerk. Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, much better. I got it now.
Grab that from you.
Thanks.
Having reviewed that, do you acknowledge that you texted the group that you were trying to get a picture of what you were seeing?
Yes, I said I was going to try to take a photo.
You would agree with me that you were watching what was going on, correct, on February 1st?
No, I just happened to be driving through the neighborhood at that moment.
So you happen to be driving through, and then you texted the group to tell them what you saw, correct?
Yes,
And then you didn't just keep driving up the road and leave the area, did you?
I think I did.
Well,
I don't, unless you tell me I went back, I think I did. I said I was going to try to take a picture.
right, well, that's my point.
Yeah.
You weren't, just having seen the troopers back out there at that house, in your mind, you still weren't done, correct?
I was going to take a picture to show them, oh, the troopers are outside your house.
Right, so in answer to my question, you weren't done with that scene, correct?
I think I was, because I don't know if I took a picture.
Well,
I think I went through. I mentioned I was going to try to take a picture.
That's
I
right.
don't know if I took a picture or not.
you didn't intend to be done at that point, correct?
I didn't intend to be done.
Right, because you wanted to take a picture of what was going on.
I was going to take a picture to show them that troopers were outside in front
Right,
of the
you
house.
wanted to
Correct.
continue to monitor what was going on, did you not?
I was not monitoring what was going on. I just happened to drive by at that moment.
May we be seen at sidebar?
Okay.
Pages that you've already reviewed, just to have you identify them. If I may, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
And I'd just like you to take a look at them and just confirm that's what you've already seen before we took the break.
Yes, these are the ones you showed me earlier.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, approach it.
Yeah.
I am chuckling at this clown with his little flashlight. Oh man, it's friggin' hilarious. The flashlight. Let me get my flashlight out here, guys. I can't see you. Oh. Oh man, this is so funny. Look at it. Look how red he is. Look at this guy. He is red right now. Yannetti turned him into a big fat tomato. He's ready for harvest. It's like a tomato that's ready for harvest. You're ready to pick that tomato. That is a tomato head right there. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. This was such a great end on Friday. And then to see Jennifer McCabe get up after, and she can't even handle Lally. She's having a hard time with just dealing with Lally. How's she going to deal with what's coming on Tuesday? We just keep it on pause here for a little while longer. Look at his face. Look how red he is. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Having reviewed those, sir, does this appear to be an accurate transcription of the sequence and the content?
Yeah. This is a good comment. How Boston newspapers didn't use this photo on their front pages. I mean, thank God the Herald finally got a clue and put Knuckles, call him Knuckles, Bloody Knuckles on the cover. If I were them, I'd be putting these people on the cover every single day. I don't know how the Herald and the Globe and the rest of them don't put these jokers on the cover every single day. It seems like they're finally figuring it out. I feel like Larry, I'm pulling hairs. I don't know if you guys noticed. I was gonna go without the haircut. I finally got a haircut today. It was so epic to go in and get a haircut. Finally found some time. I'm looking a little cleaner. I may even next time I have Betero on that show, I may not be wearing the hat. I might even shave for they do. I might clean up a little bit. We'll see. But this was so great to see Matt McCabe. Look how red he is. Knuckles. Yeah, you guys got to check a lot of Knuckles. He thinks he's Knuckles Nyland. No one's paying him. No one's paying him to fight. I've never gotten in a fight before. Never been in a fight. I do not believe that, Colin. You guys believe me if I said I never got in a fist fight as a kid? I wouldn't believe it because I know it's not true. There's a lot of kids out there that will tell you I got in fist fights with them when we were younger.
Of the group text chat.
And not necessarily like 17, 18. I'm talking like, 13, 14, 15. Or maybe even younger, 12. We used to get in a lot of fights in our neighborhoods. By the time you get in high school, you're almost too mature to get in fights, though. That's the funniest thing. I mean, I wasn't like the hard out this kid acted. And I'm not saying I was the best kid at all. I was not the best 17-year-old.
Within that time frame,
Yes.
I would offer that, Your Honor.
All right, the only concern I have is I don't want to give the jury something they need a flashlight to read.
Well, my next.
So can I see it?
Of course.
Why don't I see?
And this is the great point right here. Great comment, Shannon. Says these adults act like kids. It's exactly it. Who's the adults and who are the kids? Alibi McCabe seems more mature than her mom and dad. I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it? And the kids are the product of the parents. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yannetti 2024. I'm down. I would vote for Yannetti. Maybe we should all write Yannetti in. Yannetti 2024. I would vote for Yannetti. I love Yannetti. I'm a Yannetti guy. I like Alan Jackson too. Don't get me wrong. But I love myself some Yannetti. All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bates, if you would display the first page, 21.
Do you need a flashlight now, Matt?
How is your distance vision? Are you able to read what's on the screen?
I don't know why it's on blue.
Oh, I love this. Miss Shorty, you says, "Hell, I live in Australia and vote for you, Eddie." I'm glad you're watching from Australia. I want to know where. Are you in Sydney? Are you Melbourne? Where are you at? Love that we have European and even Australian, different, complete, not even Europe, not even the continent of Europe. We have the continent of Australia watching too. It's amazing. We have people on different continents watching my little local show in Boston. It's amazing. Thank you so much for supporting and watching.
Can I have them in front of me
Can
while
I
you're
have that? Thank
displaying
you.
them?
Yes.
Please.
Wow, here's another one. EB, he's he's here a lot. He says, "I watch from Turkey." Wow, how's Turkey doing? And New Zealand. Let's you know what? If you feel comfortable, if you know, don't, let me just say this. Yeah, we got some New Zealand people here. Obviously, if you're in New Zealand or Australia or Europe, you feel pretty safe about what's going on. But a lot of people, unfortunately, especially Canton residents and a lot of Massachusetts residents, don't feel safe, and they do hide their names and they do hide their information, and I totally understand why. But what I want to see right now is I want comments on where are you watching from tonight? If you feel comfortable, if you have any insecurity about revealing where you live, don't do it. I always say North Shore. I'm from the North Shore of Massachusetts. I think that's, you might want to say that too. But I want to know where people are watching from tonight. Liverpool, UK, birthplace of the Beatles. That's exactly. Liverpool is awesome. I like it's a working class place too. I don't know if it still is, but it's always known as a working class place. Boston used to be considered working class. We got some Ohio, we got some Washington State, Minnesota, Tennessee. Wow. Colorado, Orlando, Florida, Iowa. You Norma F from Iowa. Tell Clark Gable. Did I say that right? Dan Gable. I'm getting mixed up. Dan Gable, one of the probably the greatest wrestler ever from Iowa. Iowa has great wrestling. I love Iowa because of that. Pennsylvania also has great wrestling. Yorktown, Virginia. Virginia is another place with great wrestling too. Texas, they got some good wrestlers down there as well. Oh, the New Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore. All these states. New Jersey has some. The state of New Jersey has some great East Coast wrestling, big time. Patty Murphy said she shared with her family in Australia the show. Thank you so much. Middle Tennessee. We got a lot of Tennessee. Oh, Chiefs Nation, Kansas City, huh? London, Southern California. I love it. Maricopa, Arizona. Stoughton, Mass. We got to get Stoughton cleared up with Sandra Birchmore. Toronto, Washington, D.C. A bunch of Canadians watching. Seattle. You know I got a special place for Seattle. Some of my favorite music of all time: Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. I love all that shit. Soundgarden, man. Chris Cornell, Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder. I love all of them. I love the grunge, the Seattle music scene. I actually went out there one time with a band I booked and managed. They played a big festival in Olympia. We stayed in Seattle. We played a show right side out. Actually, we played a show in Tacoma. They did. I didn't play. I booked it, and helped them and went out there. I booked a show for them in Tacoma. I think the place was called the Showboat back then. And also the Olympia Theater. They played Olympia, Washington at the Olympia Capitol Theater, I think it was. I like out there. It's very cool. All right, let's keep going.
Thank you very much.
I love seeing where you guys are all from, though. West Virginia, Eastern Washington State, Sacramento. I was just watching a movie about Sacramento, actually. Florida. A lot of Florida people. South Shore, a lot of South Shore people here. I want to hear from the North Shore people. Where you any North Shore people here? Yeah, crazy to think Temple of the Dog predates Pearl Jam. How great of an album is that, Temple of the Dog? Oh, I love that album. Such a good. It's funny too. I'm gonna shout out his name, Chris Jones. Chris Jones was the guy who turned me on to Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, Pearl Jam, like a year before anyone knew about him. Especially Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam were like they put out that album, no one bought it for like a year, and then Nirvana broke, and then they went huge. They had that album out for a year, 10. Nobody knew about it, pretty much. We were all listening to it. Illinois in the house. Yeah. Seattle did have an incredible stoner metal scene back in the day. The festival that we played at, the band that I booked played at was called the Abrasive Rock Fest, and there were a lot of stoner metal bands on that festival. Definitely. West Roxbury, Drake it. Oh yeah, Drake it. I do not call Drake it North Shore, but it is north of Boston, and I have big respect for Drake it. Drake it wrestling, some tough ass kids. One of the top Drake it wrestlers actually was the head coach at the high school that I went to. He didn't coach me when I was in college, and he was the coach before I took over the team to become the head coach. So I know some Drake it kids. Al Draper is his name. Good dude. Drake it definitely has some tough kids. Love Drake it. I love all those Merrimack Valley towns. They're wrestling in the sports. Tough kids. Malden, another tough city. My grandfather grew up in Malden, Melrose. So if you go way back in Malden, Melrose, you probably know my last name through my grandfather. He was one of the greatest athletes of his generation, high school basketball, especially, but football too. Melrose High. He lived in Malden and Melrose, actually. So yeah, we used to actually go when we were kids with him. He used to take us to the Malden Melrose football games. Yeah, I love North Shore, definitely. Best band out of Seattle is Earth. I'm not gonna say they're the best band, but they're good. I like Earth, definitely. There's a lot of good music. I like Mudhoney. I like it all. So much good music that came out of Seattle. Still does.
And feel free to use the flashlight there.
Yes, thank you. Oh yeah, that's much better.
Much better. Okay,
Yes.
now we can all see it. With regard to your initial.
What's this? 4 touchdowns, Polk High. Did he actually score 4 touchdowns, or is that just a running joke on that show, Married with Children? Sometimes I do feel like Al Bundy on this show talking about my high school wrestling. I am an Al Bundy. I definitely, but I don't sell shoes. All right. So I have friends in Quincy. Quincy's also has they've always had good wrestling up there in Quincy. North Attleboro. We used to wrestle them. I know a lot of kids from North Attleboro from going to Bridgewater State, actually. Hello from Wisconsin, another place that has some decent wrestling. Nahant. Now you're talking. You're close. You're pretty close to me, Sea Girl. You're definitely a North Shore person. Nahant. We probably go to some of the same local places. Oh, here we go. You were at the Rat. Good music in Boston. I saw Wilson Pickett at the Rat. Got more Yannetti 2024. Paradise, California in the house. Thank you so much for listening.
What you texted at 1:34 and 27 seconds in the afternoon of February 1st, 2022?
Yes. Do you want me to? Oh, troop is back out front, but in front of Agent House, Looks like more has been dug up there for at least there, or at least looks like it.
Oh, and, Mr. Bates, if you go down the page, you see the response. And who was it that responded to your notification that the troopers were back by time?
That would be Brian Albert.
Brian Albert Senior.
Yeah, yep, see,
And his response was,
right now.
and that was at 1:34 PM and 45 seconds?
Yes, it was.
And you took that to be a question, correct?
Yeah, asking right now, yes.
And we can move to the next. Yes, 2151, please.
What's so beautiful about all these texts too? They cannot blame it on Turtle Boy. They would love to blame these texts on Turtle Boy. They blame everything on Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy was not on the scene when these texts were being sent. Oh, poor Maddie. Can't blame it on Turtle Boy.
Yes, please. And you responded to Brian by saying what to his question about right now?
I responded, yes.
Yeah, the whistling was funny. Great point, Trey. When he's whistling, the clown is whistling. It's pretty funny. I love this too. We're bringing people together in their home states in our chat. Someone said, I'm also from Wisconsin and Green Bay. Bringing people together. People grew up in Nahant. We got a lot of Nahant people. Atlantic City, New Jersey. Like I said, New Jersey is big time high school wrestling state on the East Coast. Pennsylvania too, obviously.
That was at 1:34 PM and 56 seconds.
Yes.
You would have still been on scene at that time?
I'm not sure if I was still on scene, but I was obviously, if it was in the area, it must have been in the area, correct?
And the next exchange, Mr. Bates? And who responded to you?
Brian Albert again.
And his response was?
Okay.
Do you have a memory as to whether or not Brian Albert was on scene at that time or if he was somewhere else?
I don't have a memory of where Brian was at that time.
Given the fact that you're saying troopers are out front and he's asking right now.
I'd assume he's not, I'd assume he's somewhere else, yeah.
And your response to him, or your response to the group, I should say, was what?
I had to pick up a car, so I drove through.
Right, so this is a little further than we talked about.
Oh, I know, we're getting to the next.
So take this one down, please.
I love this comment. Wait for Ani Bev stopped Unetti referencing the timestamps because they prove that Matt stopped at the side of the road to watch the cops. Yeah, you definitely get that feeling that Unetti knows that he did stop. Unetti was so good in this cross. I thought this cross was epic, and I'm glad they dragged it out in a way. All the little breaks, I think it just reinforces it to the jury. Like, this is the good shit. This shit is so important that they're just going to delay it. And I think it drives it home for the jury. Look at this. Karen Reed. See what she's doing right there? She's part of the defense. You got the four of them. You got Eliza Little, Karen Reed, Jackson, and Yannetti. All four of them. I'd pick any one of the four of them over Lally and Morrissey. I mean, who wouldn't you? If you had to go into court, who would you want on your side? Would you want Morrissey, Lally, or any of the four of them? Yeah, it's a dream team. You got four people who are kicking ass right now on this. And Karen Reed is part of her own defense. She is so invested in this. Go, Karen Reed. All the stuff she's going through. She lost her boyfriend. She lost her the niece and nephew. You know, the family, the little family that she had. She's put her whole life on hold. Her career as a professor, her awesome job that she had at Fidelity as an equity analyst. Those jobs are not easy to get. That's where I started my financial career. I was a equity trader at Fidelity. Actually, they trained me. Those equity analysts, that's like top level. It's not easy to get one of those jobs, especially as a woman too, a young woman. This is a very intelligent woman. And her whole life is on hold. And she's got MS. And I heard she's got colitis too. Like, this woman has put it all on the line. And thank God she's as strong as she is. And thank God for her family, her mom and her dad and her brother. And all they do is attack her, call her all kinds of names. I want to know what Kenny Dougal's thinking. Kenny Dougal's sitting here next to John O'Keefe's brother, filling in for his brother, Carl Dougal, who apparently can't go to court anymore because something went down that they don't want to talk about.
Yes, the second bubble, please, this debate on 2152.
Look at O'Keefe's brother. He's holding on to the railing. It looks like he's holding on for dear life. I wonder if he is having a crisis of faith. How can he listen to this? How can you be John O'Keefe's brother and you're listening to them? They call him the guy. Seriously. This guy's shitting his pants. Like, what are you thinking, O'Keefe, brother? Paul O'Keefe, what are you thinking there, buddy? And does it bother you? I would love to hear from Paul O'Keefe. I would love Paul O'Keefe to come on the show. Like, let's have a civil conversation, Paul. I don't think you're a bad guy. I just think that something's up, man. I think something's not right here. You're not seeing reality. I would love to have that discussion with you, Paul. Or even Kenny Dougal. You want to come on? Yeah, I do. I feel bad for Paul. I do. Even though it pisses me off. Like, when he's staring at Karen, it's like, dude, come on. Cut the shit.
Now we're at 135.
We could talk about Stonehill College, Paul, too. I didn't go there, but I visited a few times. He was a football player. I guess he was pretty good, too.
PM in 16 seconds, Mr. McCabe.
Yes, that's correct.
And your text to the group of you, your wife, Brian, and Nicole Albert is what?
Trying to get pictures.
All right. And at this point, I've asked the next bubble be displayed.
And that's exactly why I feel bad for Paul, too. This is a great comment. I wouldn't doubt they got into his head early, so all he's heard is their lies for the last 2 years. And that's the thing. When you're surrounded by people who are pumping you, you're going to absorb it. Environment is so important. Everyone talks about genetics and this and that. Environment is just as important as genetics and genes and all that other stuff. If you're around successful people, you're much more likely to be successful. And that's not just due to them helping you and giving you money and all that other stuff. It's just that you absorb their mindset. And so you're definitely, if you're around these people for the last 2 years, that their sole goal is to keep you in line, to keep you on this Karen is guilty train, it's going to work, especially when you're grieving. I feel bad for Paul. I do. I do. But eventually you got to come. Eventually, dude, you got to wake up. You got to face reality. These are not your friends, Paul. They weren't John's friends. They didn't say, don't tell them JJ didn't come in the house. They didn't say, don't tell them Paul, that Officer John O'Keefe didn't come in the house. They didn't say, tell them O'Keefe didn't come in the house. They didn't say, don't tell them John O'Keefe didn't come in the house. They said, don't tell them the guy came in the house. Just the guy. That's all he is. He's just a guy. He's just a body on the front lawn. Something that we have to dispose of and deal with. That's who Matt McCabe. That's how he felt about John O'Keefe. He's just a guy. How do you reckon that? I don't understand, Paul, at this point. I really don't. I don't understand how you can't be having some thoughts like maybe Karen's not guilty. Sometimes you have to start thinking for yourself, dude. Separate yourself from them. Maybe your dad's on the right track. Maybe his wisdom. Maybe you should go with your dad's wisdom, because I think your dad knows. I really do. I think O'Keefe Sr. knows. And he's on the witness list for Karen, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah. Pay attention after they read the last text. The attitude of the O'Keefe family changes. I sure hope so. I really hope so. And again, welcome on the show. I would love to have a conversation with Paul O'Keefe. And keep it civil. I treat him well. But I also wouldn't let him call Karen a killer. I'm not putting up with that. I'll tell you that much. Because there's no evidence of it. In this place, on this show, it's not about your emotion or your feelings. It's about the evidence, the facts. And the facts is the prosecution has presented nothing that shows Karen is guilty. So that's what you would have to reckon with if you come on the show, Paul O'Keefe. And I would love to have you before, during, after the trial, whenever you feel like.
I'm going to skip to the bubble after that once we see it.
I hope so.
Comes from Brian Albert.
Yes, Brian Albert.
All right. And that's at
Action.
135 and 36.
Mr. Yannetti, let him, the screen speaks for itself. If it doesn't, then the witness.
Of course. What time is that at?
135, 32.
All right. And his response, does that appear to be a typo?
PK, I'm assuming.
All right. The next couple after that would be 2153, please. Just off. And that is.
This is great. Kirk's 71 says Jen's first call to the O'Keefes was just after 11 a.m. She spoke on the phone with Peggy for 10 minutes, dripping her poison about Karen. Jennifer never went to the hospital, which she now claims. Now, what's great about that comment is I believe that's exactly what happened. And Jennifer McCabe knows who to play in that family. She knew who the person was to turn, and it was Peggy O'Keefe, who already obviously did not like Karen for whatever reason. It's very frequent that mother-in-laws and girlfriends, wives don't get along, and it's obvious why. A lot of boys and men are mama's boys. And when they find a new girlfriend or a wife, that mama's boy decreases because now they have the wife or the girlfriend to focus on. So naturally, there's always a lot of friction in those relationships. Not always, but quite frequently. And I think that's the case here. And I think Jennifer McCabe knew that. I think Jennifer McCabe is an operator. She knows how to
Brian Albert.
She knows how to bully people, how to manipulate people. It's pretty obvious. And if you look at this whole thing too that went on, I think the defense do that too. That's why they went after this guy. Even though he's probably got the best job out of all of them. It's so funny. We started out that they're attacking me for my profession. Well, here's a guy that supposedly has a great career and a great profession, but you wouldn't know it from his testimony on the stand. Out of all the McAlberts, he's probably has the best private sector job. Someone that didn't rely on the government to get ahead. The most successful McAlbert. And look at him on the stand. I think the defense correctly figured out that he was a weak link. That he just does whatever Jennifer tells him to do. Jennifer, the stay-at-home mom, the homemaker. I have nothing against stay-at-home moms. I think it's great if you can do it. But I find it interesting she's still a stay-home homemaker. And her kids are in there, like one's 20. I think the other one's like 15 or whatever. It's like, that's the time that a lot of stay-home moms at least, start to get a part-time job or start to think about maybe I should get a second career. But no, Jen seems to enjoy being the homemaker. Talking to all her girlfriends. I bet she gossips a lot. I bet before all this happened, she was on the phone complaining about a lot of people to her girlfriends. I have a feeling that's the type of women that Jennifer McCabe is, a viper.
And the time there, are you able to make that out?
Does that say 1:35:34 or 1:38:34?
Whatever it says. If you can't see it, you can't see it. Next.
Sure. And his response was,
Okay,
does that appear to be correct in the PK?
I'd have to go back and
Well, the previous one you tested.
Next question.
Sure. All right, we can take that off for a minute. I'd like to just go over two more areas of these group chats with you. You would agree with me that later that same day on February 4th, the four of you, your wife, Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, discussed in that group chat the fact that Michael Proctor was talking to Kerry Roberts over the phone, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
At 3:01 and 48 seconds, you commented on the interview of Michael Proctor with Kerry Roberts, did you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
I like this comment. Katie says, wow, working is overrated. If I could be a homemaker too, and my sons are all grown. I suppose. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you do for work. Like there will come a time when I don't have to work anymore, and I would probably still continue to walk dogs just because I love it. I enjoy it. So I think it depends on what you're doing. But even if I wasn't working, I would have some type of hobby, like doing the show. You know what I mean? Like that to me, I would fill up my life with activities I really loved and enjoyed. And that wouldn't be talking on the phone, shitting on other people, which I have a feeling that is what Jennifer McCabe does quite a bit of. Don't you feel like that? Don't you feel like she's one of those stay-at-home moms who's really miserable and judges her other girlfriends? And that's exactly what she seems like. Lives through her children. Doesn't have much of a life. I mean, what are Jennifer McCabe's hobbies? What does she do?
May we be seen?
Another sidebar. You can't reveal too much information. No timestamps. Hey, Kenny Dougal, how you doing, brother? Look at Kenny. Paul doesn't look too happy. He mumbled, oh my God. Yes, he did. Did I miss that? Did that just happen? Yeah, I guess it did. This is a good point, too. Cannot be underestimated that Karen was the hottest woman in the group other than Allie. It didn't trigger immense jealousy among the women folk. I agree. I think there's a lot of jealousy that goes on among women about looks, unfortunately, in a way that it doesn't happen with men. And I think Karen is a very attractive woman. And she's also professionally successful. So you add those two together and very intelligent. So you got a super intelligent woman, very professional, doesn't need anybody, doesn't need anybody's money, has all her own success, and she's beautiful. Of course, I'm absolutely sure there was a lot of jealousy among that little group, especially with these, midsters. I mean, Jennifer McCabe, I'm sure felt like she was the best among this group because, they're all mids. They're mids. They're not above average, you know? So here comes this beautiful young lady who's way more successful and beautiful than the rest of them. I'm sure there was some jealousy. Absolutely. And she didn't want to go to their after party. I mean, think about that too. She knew she was above that. Why the hell she want to go hang out with these meatheads? It wasn't being at the bar with them enough. I'm sure she was thinking that. That's the way I'd be thinking. Maybe Jen will plead the fifth on Tuesday. I don't think she will. I think she's too smart for her own good. I think she's got too much ego. I think she thinks she's a manipulator. She's an operator. She thinks she's going to get herself out of this. I don't think so. I don't think Jen's going to plead the fifth. I think if anyone is most likely to be a Higgins or maybe even a Proctor. I think this woman's going to she's going to try to go toe to toe with with Jackson. That's what I think is going to happen. I think she's going to get smoked. Yeah, Karen knew they were losers. I'm sure she did. Even subconsciously, even if consciously she didn't know that, I think she picked it up. I mean, sometimes we as humans pick up things and we don't even realize it. And I'm sure they felt that way too, that they realized that this woman is above them. Absolutely. This is a good comment because I was expecting this on Friday from Jennifer McCabe. Someone said, I think she's going to cry for real. I would expect it on Tuesday. However, going with the attorney, Betterow, he said that she tried that and that she's not even capable of crying. on cue like her daughter is. So, this is such an ice queen that she may have trouble pulling that off. And I think that's the problem with Jen. If she tries to cry, it's going to look really fake because it is fake. It's as fake as Proctor and Tully and Bukaki saying that they got bullied by Turtle Boy. Guys with guns and badges get bullied by a guy writing a blog. Give me a friggin' break. Even the judge, Bev Canone, reversed her decision about Turtle Boy in terms of Bukaki and Proctor and Tully. She said that's ridiculous. She actually is going to let him in when they testify. So even Bev Canone realizes how ridiculous that is. They're getting bullied. What a bunch of bozos. A group of people that try to bully me. They bullied me for months, from December till basically April. They try to shut me down. They try to scare the shit out of me, sending me threats, telling me that I need to talk to Tully, that they're going to show up at my house and arrest me, all that crap. These are the biggest bullies around. Talking about they got bullied. And now they're, as soon as Allie cries, they all tag us. Oh, you guys are responsible for bullying this girl. You're a bunch of bullies. I never even said I never said Allie's name until recently. How could I bully somebody that I never even friggin' said their name? Alibi McCabe. And Karen Coffin there. She may even have allergies or a cold too. I know people are saying she looks tired. I would not doubt, how stressful that is and time consuming. And especially someone with medical issues. I've got some medical issues. My back, I injured my back a long time ago from wrestling. It would kill me to sit in those chairs for that many hours every day. Yeah, this is the big thing too. They pretended that they were doing this. You could tell. I think originally they told everyone, Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe, oh, we're doing this to protect Colin. And that's how they sold it to some of the adults. That's my personal, what I believe. I think that was their rationale, is that they're protecting the kids. But at this point, they've put all their kids in harm's way. And I think that they've used their kids. They've used their own children to try to protect themselves. And Alibi McCabe crying on the stand, perfect example of that. These people are so devious that they use their own children. They sacrifice their own children. They brought their children into this. Absolutely 100% on the mark, Haley. I agree with you 100%. Thank you for the super chat. Of course, your acquaintance is not your friend. Just sent 1999. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I want to hear Jackson say on Tuesday, why Jen McCabe? You look like someone just walked all over your grave. Express these evil people. Expose these evil people. Excuse me. I just hope he has a little line at the end, like Yannetti has at the end of this cross. We're done. Thank you so much for the donation. I think it's going to be must see video on Tuesday. I can't wait for it. Oh, and Miss Shorty became a new member. Thank you so much from Australia, my Aussie friends. Thank you so much, Miss Shorty. Yeah, this too. I know they said they're not going to televise this and they're going to remove people from the courtroom, but I don't. I really hope that I hope the O'Keefe family wakes the fuck up. Like, why would you put your niece and nephew through this? And especially when whatever they offer is not going to be, the jury's going to be very skeptical of their testimony. Let's be honest. The comment is, I truly hope the niece and nephew don't get put on the stand. Hopefully, Lally will come to his senses and see it won't be a good look for the Commonwealth. I hope so too. Really. Haven't those kids been through enough? Why would you put them on the stand? I hope the O'Keefe family, they could say no to that. Really, what are you doing? It's not putting those kids on the stand is going to make no difference on Karen's trial. It's going to be no difference. It's not going to make any difference. The only thing it's going to do is F up the niece and nephew. Edward Kirkpatrick just sent $5. He said, Jackson needs to start with a Mrs. McCabe before we begin. Is there anything you would like to change from your testimony? I think it was Yannetti that said to one of them, I think it was Chris Albert, do you want to stick to that? Definitely. Definitely. I hope that would be good. It would be savage. Anything you want to change? You want to stick to that, Jennifer McCabe? You sure you want to do this, honey? You sure you want to go down with the ship? You sure you want to lose your little posh lifestyle of being a stay-at-home mom? Jennifer, something to consider in prison. How do you think the most of the women in prison are going to feel when they find out that you're a stay-at-home mom living in a posh luxury lifestyle with a rich husband? How do you think they're going to feel about you in prison? Maybe you can lead the social club there. Ask Bob says, Mike, do you think Berkowitz will go down and walk? And Rafferty was acting police chief when John O'Keefe was murdered. How about her? She doesn't know how to drive, but she can take an Uber. They skate. What I'm wondering about is Helena Rafferty. Apparently her contract's up. It's going to be interesting to see if there's any discussion at future select board meetings about extending her contract. I think Berkowitz is going to get called by the defense. I think Berkowitz may end up on the stand. I think he's going to try to say he's got this cancer issue. He can't make it. Berkowitz is another one like Higgins, seems to be in hiding. Has anyone seen Berkowitz around town? I don't know any Canton residents or anyone that hangs out on the marina over there in Quincy. Have you seen Berkey around? Is he taking out the boat this summer? I have a feeling Berkey's hiding. But if anyone gets Berkey healthy, walking around, driving his boat, let me know. Take a picture. Send it over. I have a feeling Berkey is in lockdown. I want to see Berkowitz. This is a guy that needs to be on the stand, Berkey. Totally. Chief Wiggum, as our friend Betterow calls him. Attorney Betterow calls him Chief Wiggum. The Chief Wiggum indeed needs to be on the stand. Maybe Matt McCabe could take a picture. Yeah, Matt, maybe you could take a picture of Berkowitz and show us that he's still alive. Send it over to your friends.
Okay, thank you.
Matt McCabe. I bet Matt McCabe takes better pictures than the Canton police. I wonder if his pictures were better. I bet his pictures were better than the Canton police. I bet they weren't blurry. Yeah, Berkowitz
So I'd
totally
like
did
you to
insert
not
himself.
leave.
Totally inserted himself. Yeah, this was a good moment. I think I cut out, but this is there was so much good to Matt. We could have played the whole testimony, but I just want to focus on the text because I thought that was the best part. But this is a good comment from Kirk71. He says, Haley Wolf, note Matt's reaction when they were talking about the schools. John wanted his niece in private school. Now she's at Canton High, just like the McAlberts, even though they knew how proud he was. And look at Matt's reaction. So I'm glad you brought that up. His reaction is like, oh, you can make it at any school. You can make it it doesn't matter where you're at. There's some truth to that. But there's also a lot of truth that people that go to better schools end up in better places. It's true. You know, I went to Bridgewater State. Not a lot of people get the same opportunities from Bridgewater State that you get from going to Harvard. And a lot of it is just because of the network. When you're at Harvard, you know, you're with the sons and daughters of owners of major corporations. So if you're looking to get into that world, you got a better opportunity if you know somebody. You know, I'd say that out of all the people I graduated with Bridgewater State, I'd say the most successful, like if locally that we know of, is probably the guy who's the head trainer for the New England Patriots that I was a suite mate of, Jimmy Wayland. He's done phenomenally well. But he's not the owner of the New England Patriots. You know what I'm saying? He's not the president. He's the what do we call them? The trainer. He's the guy who tapes up the knees.
The witness in the dark, if there's something that he can have.
And he's got that job and doing well because he's a hard worker. He was always, I was suite mates with the guy. He's a hard worker. Jimmy was always a hustler, working hard, hitting the books, working extra on the weekends.
What I'm going to do now, sir, is to hand you 3 more pages and ask if you can identify those.
Thank you.
This is a good comment. Do you think their phones are being monitored now? Good possibility. You know, the feds, they obviously, a lot of it, you know, on warrants, usually there's a time frame and what they can search. But if you follow the feds like I do, there's also been a lot of controversies about them doing stuff off the books with the stingrays and all that other stuff. Even the way they rolled them out to the local police departments and told them that they didn't come from us. You know what I mean, they gave the local police departments this equipment and said it didn't come from us. So the feds can be shady too, even especially in their collection practices. So my question is, I would not doubt they're listening to the phones. Whether it's on the books or off the books, I don't know. I mean, that would be the question. Is it on the books or off the books? I would bet they're listening either way. And on the books means it goes on the record. Off the books means they're just listening to, you know, gather intelligence, and then they can, you know, find more legal ways to gather the evidence that they uncover and pretend they weren't listening. And that's what sometimes they do too, which is kind of shady, honestly, but I hope they're bringing the full weight of the federal government on them. 2 viewers now on Twitch. I love dog walkers and dogs. Thank you so much, Verno24. We're really blowing it up on Twitch tonight. Oh yeah, I see two people watching on Twitch. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Look at that flashlight. Look how long he has to go through every page, too. What do you think? I think he's memorizing it. I think he's trying to memorize everything because like someone else pointed out, they got rid of their phones. They may not even have these texts anymore. Look at his face right there. So let's bring him up on the large screen here. Does that look like a face of confidence right there? Look, a red. He looks like a big red tomato, big tomato head. Look at that frown. No white teeth smile, huh, Matt? What happened to the big white teeth smile? Oh, poor Matty. He looks like he needs a tissue. Get that guy a tissue. He looks like look at that too. He's glowing on top. He's sweaty. Imagine how sweaty he is when he probably got the armpit stains right there under the on the white shirt. He's probably soaked through the white t-shirt underneath. He just shat himself. Exactly. He just shat his brick. I can't see. I can't. Let me look. I gotta remember this for Jen later. Jen's gonna ask me. If I don't remember all this, Jen's gonna be very mad at me. I'm gonna have to sleep on the couch that I paid for again. Yeah. And I'm so thankful for Bettero being on the show. Mary just made a good comment. She said it was stamped fed on phone text page. He was shocked, I bet. I mean, that was the question for us. Did the defense get this from Jen McCabe's phone, or did they get this from the feds? And when you look at those screenshots, it sure looks like these came from the federal government. So, yeah, I think he was a little bit this guy, look at him. Look at his face. He's shitting himself now. He did not expect this. He thought he was winning. He thought he was going to go in there and kick ass. This guy got smoked. Cooked. They put him in the lobster pot. He thought it was a pool. He thought he was having a good time. He's like, oh, look at this water. We'll have a margarita in the pool here. And they just turn the heat up. They slowly turn the heat up. And next thing you know, he's boiling. He's boiling. Yeah, you think so? He's catching on that his in-laws and wife are using him. I think it finally dawned on him on the stand, like, holy shit, what am I doing? Why was I helping these people? Why the hell did I get involved in this? Matt McCabe, you dumbass. You just forfeited your future. You were a successful guy. What a moron you are. How dumb are you? Dumbass. You gave that woman a life where she doesn't even have to work a job. And this is how you get repaid for it, buddy. You should be filing for divorce right now, Matt McCabe. If I were you, Matt McCabe, I would get a couple lawyers. I would have the criminal defense attorney. I would get the divorce lawyer, and then I would march my ass right down to the federal government office, the U.S. district attorney, not the district attorney, U.S. attorney. I'd be walking my ass right in Levy's office and say, I want a deal. You better get a deal, Matt McCabe. If they even will allow you to get one right now. Get a divorce, buddy. Get out of that situation. Your wife does not have your best interest at heart.
All right, Mr. McCabe, Jen.
And her judgment sucks like yours does. I think she's affected your judgment, buddy.
Generally, do you recognize those,
Yeah.
sir? All right, so
I
go
just
ahead.
marching it up. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it
Mr.
is too
McCabe.
late. I mean, he went on the stand and
Maybe
lied,
you
so it
handed
is
to
probably too
you
late.
And that you now
You're right.
have in your possession.
He should have done this 6 months ago. Yeah, he should have rehomed his wife. If this guy had any balls, any sack, he would have rehomed his wife like they rehomed Chloe. Then he could refer to her as it. I divorced it. That's what he should have done. What do you got to say today, Matt McCabe? I divorced it. That's what he should have said on the stand. I trust Chloe more than I trust Jennifer McCabe and Brian Albert. And she bites.
Those are from the same group chat that you identified earlier, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And it appears to have the same sequence and content. of.
Exactly. He needs to get his balls back. He doesn't need to ask for them. He just needs to take them back. But it's probably too late now. Now he's screwed. Yeah, his eyes look funny. Someone on Twitch said, commenting on Colin's eyes. I thought they were weird too on the stand. And I don't know if that's from drugs or just a lot of psychopaths have those dead eyes. If you notice, he's got those weird dead eyes. They always say the eyes are, what do they say? It eyes are a window into the soul.
Yes.
Matt thought he was living the
Or
dream. He
hormonal
was
subjection.
until he ended up with the domestic situation with drinking and letting your wife control your life.
Again, I'm not sending anything to the jury that they can't read. So let's
Yeah,
mark
divorces
this
are coming. I guarantee it too.
identification.
Too late though. Too late. You're gonna get divorced after you lost it all. You lost your life. You lost your reputation. You lost all your money, and then you're gonna get divorced. You should have done it 6 months ago, buddy.
And the substance of those, each individual one will be question by question.
Understood. So, Mr. Bates, with regard to page 2160, I'm looking for the second bubble.
Do you have an extra
Yeah,
copy?
Colin
for me to follow
definitely
along?
could be medicated. That's a comment that just came in talking about Colin. He could be medicated. They all could be medicated. I would not doubt it. Yeah, he's covering his mouth. Notice the mouth protection. Yeah, he's cooked. He knows it, and he can't control his body. His mind knows he's cooked, and his body is just losing control. I'm surprised they didn't say we need some toilet paper over here. The dude just shit himself on the stand, like literally. We need a cleanup crew over here. This guy just shat himself.
No. Or Jim, was it Mr. United? Was this in what was marked for? You're using that. All right.
I believe we have extra copies here.
I love this comment. The eyes are the window to your soul. I don't know if that's William Shakespeare quote. I wouldn't doubt it. I should have probably paid attention more in English lit in 12th grade. My guidance counselor killed me for that one. I got a D- in advanced English lit my senior year. I almost didn't get into college because of that class. I got a D-. I didn't read any of the books. I was such a punk ass. My guidance counselor goes, "You got the second highest score on verbal SAT in your class, and you got a D-, and you underachiever. He really read me a riot act, which he was right about. He was right. All I cared about was
And if
sports
it's a
at that
question
point.
by question objection, just
But the thing about the
No,
eyes too, being the window to your soul. I come across a lot of other dog walkers in my, daily profession, and I notice they always have bright, happy eyes. So that's funny when I hear the criticism about how they should look down on me because I'm a dog walker. Why? Because my eyes, because I'm happy. You wish you were so happy.
be displayed.
Well, I just offered that as an exhibit, and I'm asking.
And I did not take it in. I said the content on a question by.
Someone said Shakespeare is poorly taught even at their university level. Yeah, but that wasn't the issue for me. It wasn't the teachers. It wasn't the content. It was me. I was a 17-year-old punk. All I cared about was sports and girls. I totally checked out. I was into the social scene. I was probably a lot like Colin at 17 in some respects. I mean, I don't think I was that bad. But, if you looked at me when I was my biggest punk, I would say age 17 to 20 until I started losing shit. Like, when you get injured and you lose the sport, then it humbles you. And then you get cancer a couple years later. I think sometimes tragedies humble people and it wakes them up to the reality of the world. And that happened to me at a younger age, and thank God it did, because who knows where I'd be if it didn't happen to me. Gave me a lot of perspective on life and what people go through and how hard it is for people. I think that's what Colin needs. He needs some humility. Hopefully this has humbled them. I don't think it has. The attitude that he showed on the stand, and the same with Allie, I don't think they're humbled.
By question, so it's each bubble.
All right. You saw that,
These people think they hit home runs and they were born on second base. You know what I mean? Or they were born on first base. They think there's something just based on their little bit of family, whatever you call this thing that they got going in Canton. It's ridiculous. You're nobody. In the grand scheme of things, none of us are nobody. Even the most successful people on this planet, we're just humans. We're nobody. We're gone in a blink of an eye. A blink, whatever that is. I always screw up these terms, but you know what I'm saying, right? We are everything and we are nothing at the same time, right? The yin and the yang. These people are just full of empty ego.
at 3:01 p.m. and 48 seconds on February 1st that you texted, quote, very weird that she's been barely interviewed. The whole dead comment was just told.
Yeah, she'll
was
have fun
supposed
with
to
those
have
prison
them talk
guards. I
about-
guarantee you. Jen's going to have some fun. She'll be probably turning them against each other. She'll probably have multiple boyfriends in there. Maddie, how do you think Jen will cheat on you in prison with the prison guards? Maybe you should think about that one, Maddie.
Night and forgot to tell Proctor to call her. Do you recall that?
I recall it, correct.
All right. And those were your words, correct?
Yeah, pride
yes,
goes
they are.
before the fall. I was so proud when I was young, just about my sports shit, I still am, but it's not everything. That doesn't make you special. I think that's the problem too in America. Like a lot of times with these high school sports, especially with the boys, especially with certain sports like football and hockey, especially you find in Massachusetts anyways. They put these young kids on a pedestal, these young kids who've never felt confidence in their life, and now they're egotistical maniacs that think they're gods. I had some of that mentality. It's that jock mentality. It's so true. It definitely exists. And I'm just glad today we've kind of more acknowledged it. And I think a lot of the sports and schools have acknowledged it. And they realize that actually women, especially in sports, they need to be put on a pedestal more. Here's a good comment. I think Matt's tie was drenched with sweat. He is definitely involved. Good luck with Jen and your family in Antarctica, where no one will bother you after this. That's where they should go. If they don't want to be bothered, move out of the country. If they let you leave the country. Thank you so much for your donation tonight. Of course, your acquaintance, not your friend, sent $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Great comment.
No,
And I think that his t-shirt underneath was totally drenched in sweat. I'm sure it was one of those days when you go home and you're like, oh, I got to get the clothes off. They stink because he was sweating. I mean, look at his face right there. And you could start to see it glistening on his forehead.
it's in. We may display it later, but I'd like to move this testimony along. So that's in evidence.
And then in that discussion, at 3:03 p.m. and 15 seconds, it was Brian.
Thank you,
Albert who
Lizzie.
Texted, quote,
Love the super chats. Thank you so much.
02150.
Here's another one. Good. Do what you love. You'll never work a day. It's so true. I mean, the only way I feel like that I work with dog walking is I get so physically tired. But it's good because I sleep well at night. It puts me to sleep. I used to have those restless nights, not getting enough sleep. I sleep usually. This week I've been up a little more because this case. It's and when we do the shows, I feel like a little high after you get done with the show. So sometimes it's hard to sleep because of the show. But the dog walking, it really does tire you. I just want to check the Venmos, make sure I'm not missing any messages or comments tonight since we got so many super chats. I feel like I want to make sure that I'm attentive tonight since I have more time to look at these. So I'm going to look at these while we play some more video.
Attach it?
Oh, you show it to
Show it to
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Miller
sorry.
and don't reference what it is.
You think this is my first try?
I might have missed this one from last night. I want to make sure I shout it out anyway. Stacy gave $10 last night. She said, I love you having Mark Betterow on each night to discuss the trial. Thank you so much for the donation on Venmo last night. Stacy. Christine Lynn also, Christine made a donation. She said, thank you for your coverage. Free Karen Reed. Thank you so much for the donation last night. And James also made a donation. Thank you so much. Those were from last night. I want to make sure I shouted them out. I might have missed some last night. I know I missed some of the super chats last night. It got crazy in here. All right, excellent. Let's play some more video here. Here we go. Here's our man, Yannetti.
Thank you.
I'm showing you.
Yeah, there's a good comment here. My son works with celebrities and big movie stars every day. He was always taught treat the women that make your breakfast the exact same way as the execs. They are no different. Exactly. In fact, I treat the women who make the breakfast better than the executives. F the executives. The executives have a charmed life. They don't need anyone kissing their ass. If you're not nice to them, what difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? I treat the woman cleaning, the cleaners and all those other folks that do the services, the vets, all the workers out there. I love them more than the executives. I treat them better than the executives. The wait staff, anyone serving me food, I'm giving a huge friggin' tip. Today, I got a haircut. It was $25. I gave her, I think it was a $15 or $20 tip. And then I told my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't think I gave her enough. My girlfriend said, yeah, I don't think you did either. Like, that's the way you should treat people. You should tip extra, especially if you can afford it. And if you can't, maybe not get the service. You know what I'm saying? I think you treat those people way better than the executives. They're better people usually too. Let's be serious.
Your document, sir, and if you look up or look at it by yourself and look up at me when you're done.
I don't use glasses, but I can't see this.
I can't
So
see
maybe I
this.
need glasses.
Look, he's complaining again. Oh, I hit the rewind button again. What the hell's wrong with me tonight? Let's go. I'm going to skip it forward. We're never going to get through this video tonight. It's hilarious. Here we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Jen won't let him get glasses. Yeah, probably because she's too vain. I don't want you being a 4 eyes. Would the real Matt McCabe please stand up? Someone said you need a smoke break. I think I definitely do need a smoke break. Yeah, Heather's right. She know Heather. You're watching me. You know me, Heather Taylor. You need a smoke break. I think you're right. I haven't smoked pretty much all day. I've been hustling, and then I took that nap, and I got up and did the show immediately. I was running late, but I needed the nap more than the smoke break. I'll get my smoke break after we're done here. You know how Corey wears his sunglasses at night? I smoke my sunglasses at night. You guys know me well. Thank you, Heather. That was a good comment. Definitely need my smoke break tonight. I'm a little fired up too. Have you noticed? Susan said, I loved your narrations, love your show. And you know what I love too is the guests. I gotta say, the guest shows, I love them. I love having the great guests like Bettero, but it can be a little stressful. When you have people on, it can be a little more because you want to make sure that they're getting the best value out of their time. You want to make sure that you're not interrupting. You want to make sure that you're asking the right questions. So, and then you're looking at the chat. There's all these things going on that you're trying to manage. And like last night, I didn't look at the chat at all beyond the super chats because I was overwhelmed, honestly. So last night was a little stressful. I got to admit, sometimes it can be. I'm, way back in the day, I never produced my own show. I was just a host, which was easy. I love doing that. I used to yell at my producers. Now I'm doing both. So it's a little difficult to micromanage sometimes, to multitask sometimes on this stuff, especially when you're like me, when your thoughts race ahead, versus what you're trying to say and you stumble over your words, which happened to me sometimes. So it's tough for me to manage everything all at once is what I'm saying. And tonight is it's nice. It's nice just to be able to play a little video, be on my own and let it out tonight and just talk to you guys one-on-one as you chat. I do enjoy the solo shows too. You see that little glitch? That was weird in the video.
All right, Mr. McCabe, generally, do you recognize those,
Yeah,
sir? All right, so
I'm
go
just
ahead.
marching up. Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Okay.
Yannetti.
The pages that I've handed to you and that you now have in your possession, those are from the same group chat.
Oh,
that
I'm
you
sorry your
identified
battery's about to die, Shannon. You can always catch it on the replay.
earlier, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And it appears to have the same sequence and content of the group chat as well.
Yes.
I would offer that one.
Over the Commonwealth's objection, again, I'm not sending anything to the jury that they can't read. So let's mark this for identification.
See, this is a problem with doing the shows. I miss all these other chats and other shows. I would love to catch up on everything Sean's been doing and Dylan. I miss a lot of it. And I'm always working too. But I like those guys. I like Dylan. I like Sean. I like all the other shows. There's so many good shows. Melanie Little. I've been missing her. I need to catch up on her too. She's amazing. I need to actually hit her up and get her on the show. And the Glare, I love that guy. I've been saying I want to get him on the show for months. We talked about it. I need to get him on too. And I need to catch up on my Glare time. Hopefully he does a show the next couple nights when I'm off so I can watch. I love the Glare. He's so funny.
And the substance of those, each individual one.
Someone says, wish we could replay the live chat, replay with the live chat playing. I think you can on YouTube. At times, sometimes it doesn't show up. I think what it is, we have to check off a box. I've been checking off that box, so you should be able to see the chat replay later. If that's not happening, let me know. I'll look into it. But I think we've been checking off the right box for a while. I don't think I didn't realize that you had to actually check off the box for that to happen. There's a lot of little checkoffs you have to do with YouTube. It's weird. But you should be able to listen to replay later with the chat.
Understood. So, Mr. Bates, with regard to page 2160, I'm looking for the second bubble.
Do you have an extra copy for me to follow along? No?
Yeah, Glare catch up.
Or
That's
Jim,
cool.
was it, Mr. United, was this in what was marked for, you're using that?
Oh, yeah. Lucky on the Stand's going to be good, too. I can't wait to see that.
Thank you.
All right. And if it's a question by
You can't find us on YouTube Live, you should be able to find us. It's if you just search us, it's at the Young Jerks 1. If you put the number 1, that's our handle on there. It should, when I search the Young Jerks YouTube on Google, it pops right up. So you should just be able to find it on Google too. I wonder if anyone else is having those problems.
question, objection, just may what be displayed?
Maybe I'm
And I
shadow
did not take
banded.
it-
I don't know it. I don't know. We could put. I'm trying to think how links would show up. You know how you can find us on look for us on Twitter. At the Young Jerks on Twitter. It's just at the Young Jerks, one word, and you'll find the link there on our profile. If not, look at the link tree. It's definitely there. Look us up on Twitter. That's how you can find our YouTube easy. Edward Kirkpatrick said, did you get to where Judge Bev gets super mad when Yannetti forces her to sidebar to explain why she's excluding on record paper throws and everything? I'm not sure. We've been playing a lot of this. We may have. There was one part when Yannetti talked back to her. It was awesome. He said, like, this is the first time I've been in trial. He's had some quips. He even made her laugh at one point. Someone said, of course you're shadow banned. See, that's the thing. I don't think we are shadow banned on YouTube. I think he's just not searching right or something. And, there are a couple of different, we've had different YouTube channels in the past. So I even had the Mike Can channel at one point. So there's a lot of Young Jerks content on there on different channels. So sometimes that was an issue at first, but when I search for it, it comes right up at the top now. And I think that YouTube is actually, once you're a partner in the program, I think they try to promote you. So I don't think we are shadow banned. I think he's just having some issues. Who knows?
And I said the content on a question by question, so
yes,
it's
you
each
did.
bubble.
All right.
Yeah, you can also
You
subscribe
saw
once you find it.
that, At 3:01 PM and 48 seconds on February 1st, that
Yeah.
you texted, quote, "Very weird that she's been barely interviewed. The whole dead comment was just told. I was supposed to have them talk last night and forgot to tell."
I'm gonna
Paul."
put the
You recall that?
I
handle
recall it,
on
correct.
YouTube in our comments so you can see it.
Yes, they are.
I'm gonna put it on the screen.
No, it's
This
in.
is
We
what you
may
should
display it
search
later, but
right
I'd like
away
to
on
move this
YouTube and it should
testimony
come up.
along, so that's in evidence.
And then in that discussion, at 3:03 PM and 15 seconds, it was Brian Albert who texted, quote, "Hope they don't think she's making it up after the fact for some reason," end quote. Correct?
Objection.
Play some of the Aussie Insider recaps. Fall out of your chair. I should actually. I let me talk to her. I believe it's a her, to make sure that I can do that. I've listened to her, some of the Aussie. She's got some really funny clips. She gave me permission to use one of them with Grant, which was funny. I believe that was her video. So yeah, I'll check that out. If you have any suggestions, definitely let me know. But I have to be very careful in the copyright stuff and the strikes and all that. So that's what I get worried about playing other content now.
I'll allow that.
They can get very weird on YouTube.
Can you read the timestamp again?
It's the
Yes, it's on-
second.
He found it on YouTube. See? Thank you. I'm glad you found it on YouTube. Awesome. Nothing wrong with watching X or Twitter, but I think those links go away eventually on X and Twitter, where YouTube, it stays forever.
Page 02161.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in the middle. I got that timestamp correct.
3:03:15.
Yeah, I like this comment. I actually feel ever so slightly sorry for Trooper Bukaki, since that will be his nickname for the rest of his life. I don't at all. Especially when he cried, "Oh, Turtle Boy's bullying me," after he shows up to Katie Smith's house and harasses her. I don't feel bad for Bukaki. I'm glad. I think he earned that nickname. These guys are bullies with badges, and then they act like they've been bullied. So I don't feel bad for him at all. He earned that.
Correct. And I read that accurately.
I hope he shows up and says, "Do you know who I am?" I'll say, "Yeah, you're Bukaki, the piece of shit out of my shoe, buddy." All right, let's read this. We got a super chat. Thank you so much, Erin. She says, "Kerry Roberts, February 1st to Proctor. Karen said, John's dead. Kerry, I wonder if he's dead. It's snowing. He got hit by a plow. Orchestrating Karen's arrest in group text. Class acts, thank you for your coverage." And I can't wait to see Kerry Roberts on the stand. How do you think Kerry's? I think Kerry's going to fold up like a cheap fold up chair. Yeah, we've covered Sandra Birchmore. I definitely think it makes sense to look into that case too. Great comment, Emery. We're almost done with the video.
After the fact.
Yes, that's correct.
And then less than a minute later at 3:05 and 32 seconds.
That's a good comment. Who's going to testify after Jen O? I haven't looked at that yet. It's funny. Almost all my predictions on who's going to testify next have been correct. Have you noticed that? Some of my predictions haven't been right. I thought that I was hinting. I thought Ricky was going to be more of a bombshell. He did definitely help the defense, but it wasn't as much of a bombshell as I was hoping or thought. But a lot of who I thought was going to testify next has been correct almost every time. So I need to figure out who's going to testify next. I think that they may even call like some of the hospital workers next, the Good Samaritan Hospital, which would be, we'll see, and it could be the Kerry Roberts. It could be a lot of different ways they go. And maybe they're going to finally start bringing up some of these state police. They're coming eventually. They're halfway through their witness list.
You replied, yes, she was hardly interviewed, and I think just answered what was asked.
Yeah, Ryan and Heather Ryan and Heather were by far the most honest so far, and the married couple, the Greek couple that didn't that weren't really drinking, that didn't go to the after party. But for younger people, Ryan and Heather give me hope for the future. Younger people standing up. They're good, strong, nice people. Hats off to Ryan, Heather, and Ricky. All three of them. You can tell they're good kids. And I think all three of them will go far. I would hire them. I would hire Ryan Nagel. I would hire his ex-girlfriend, and I would hire Ricky. Those are the three people out of all of them that I would employ. Or I would hire them to mow my grass, or do my plumbing, or whatever they want to do. I think they can do. I think that there are three good people, and you can tell they got it together. Those three are going to make it. Yeah, and I think the jury saw that too. There are good young people out there, definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Strike that whole question.
Yeah, the Greeks didn't
skipped.
fit in. The Greeks remind me of my friends growing up who were very nice, They didn't fit in with the schlubs. I got some Greek friends. Greeks are good people. I don't like to be stereotypical, but every Greek I've met, they're definitely quality people.
His next response, which was at 3:05 and 2 seconds, where he said, "But if they barely interviewed her, that's on them." Correct?
That's from Brian. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that drive from Jen to John's place with Jen telling her shit like you could have hit him. Absolutely. Programming. And it's not very difficult to program someone when they're freaking the F out. I don't know. I've done a lot of reading and investigating, sometimes even covering some of the cults out there. And one of my family friends, let's put it this way, I'm not even going to say the religion or the cult or whatever, but they showed up at her house one day when she was like wicked depressed, just lost family members. And that's when they strike. That's when they get you in the cult. It's very easy to program people when they're down emotionally. And so I think it was very easy for them to plant that in Karen's head when she was freaking the F out. That's what cults do. Cults always look for you when you're your weakest point. That's when you're easily manipulated and programmed and brought into a cult. Trauma is the perfect time. Yeah, Trey just said that. Trauma is the perfect time to program. Absolutely it is. It's even how the military operates. If you look at the military, basic training, what do? The first so many weeks, they break you down. They try to destroy your former personality and then build you back up and reprogram you into the soldier that they want you to be. That's why they don't take 50-year-old men in the military, because once at 50, you're set in your ways. You're not going to be broken easily. You're not going to go along with that. That's why they want 18-year-old kids. So it's the same thing. That's why cults put you through trauma. That's why cults gaslight and set you up into the trauma so they can easily manipulate you. That's what Scientology is. The whole cult of it. And especially as you get to those higher levels, if you look into it, they break you.
Now, with regard to that exchange, you would agree with me that you were talking about Kerry Roberts being interviewed by Michael Crawford, correct?
I don't want to make an assumption. Do you have the text previous to this that shows that we're referencing Kerry?
I do, and I'll show you that.
And children are very easy to program. We know that. Anyone under 20. I'm watching some other like scientists talk about childhood and stuff. They basically say when your first years as a child, especially like your first 15, 20 years, you're basically in a dreamlike state that's easily programmed. And that's what the purpose of childhood is as a human. You're learning your programming. So those kids have definitely been programmed, no doubt about it. Very sad.
Yeah, I don't want to assume something.
I understand. I'm going to show you one page.
See, I love comments like this. Ruth Ben says, I give up. I was ready to try out this channel, but I'm not interested in hearing the commentary nonstop, drowning it out. Then don't be here. This is my channel. We have a lot of nights when we're strictly just playing the videos without any commentary. We have a lot of the best interviews here. And then every once in a while, I have a night like this where I do it for me. I just want to play the video and chat with my audience. If that bothers you, get the hell out of here. But you know what? No one wants to see is your comment, especially me. And I don't give a shit if you follow me, Ruth. Unlike all these other people out there, I don't care if you follow me. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for you. And this community loves the show. There's a lot of there's a reason why people are enjoying this tonight. So if you don't want to be here, bye-bye. But don't announce it. Don't be one of those fools that I put on the screen. You know, the first time I met you is you complained. What did you offer? It's not about you, Ruth. I try not to make my channel that much about me. But every once in a while, I like to do a show like this to express myself and share myself a little more with the community and have fun. This is that night. This is my let down my hair night. We're having a party here. We're having fun. If you can't enjoy it, then get the hell out. This ain't the place for you. No need to announce it, especially when you haven't been here long enough for us to even know who the F you are.
You look at it silently to yourself.
Okay.
And I open the packet for the page.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the only
Meeting,
one.
You're done.
But I get those comments sometimes. It's so funny. It's like they're making it about them. Like, I need to cater to your
Yeah.
desires.
Again, my assumption is Kerry based. Can I go back another page?
Feel free.
Yeah, I'm letting down my beard tonight. I might even, maybe I'll do a Grant and start smoking
Okay,
weed on
that
camera
was it.
tonight.
That's what I was looking for.
I'll be like a McAlbert. I'll have a Bud Light in my hand, a couple Fireball.
Did those previous pages refresh your memory about the context of your group chat conversation?
Yes, it did.
And certainly it was talking about Kerry Roberts being interviewed, correct?
Yes, it was.
And you were passing along information about that interview to Brian Albert, were you not?
Yes, I was letting them know that Kerry was being interviewed.
And you were telling him things that she was saying, correct? Remember you said the whole dead comment was just told?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, but I-
Sustained.
And you know what? Someone said people can go watch the trial on Law and Order, Law and Crime without interruption. You can watch it here. Every day we stream, I have no commentary. This is my night to comment on the info without any guests. I love Mark Betterow. He and the other guests that we have on the show, Mazza Media, they do a lot of great commentary at night with no video. We stream all the video during the week during when the trial's on. You can watch it all on our YouTube channel. Tonight is for me just to chill, have fun, and watch the video. And take your feedback and your commentary and chat. I love chatting with you guys. Aaron, thank you so much for becoming a new member here. Aaron Hack.
All right, in any case, we're going to move on to the very last discussion that I'd like to ask you about. Earlier that day, February 1st of 2022.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Matthew. Matthew just sent a super chat. He says Bukaki deserves everything coming to him. A man that old should know how to trust, who to trust. Unreal. And he shouldn't go out and bug someone like Katie Smith up in Gloucester. He drove up to Gloucester to harass this woman because she sent a nasty text to Michael Proctor's wife. Like, who gives a shit? Like months ago to try to roll her against Turtle Boy and try to use her past, her addiction issues against her, where she's doing great now. What a scumbag. Instead of lifting somebody up that has been through tough times, that's doing well now, he tried to kick her back down. No respect for Bukaki. None. Zero. Zip. Do you know who I am? Yeah, you're a jackass, Bukaki. That's who you are.
7 seconds, Brian Albert texted the group, which would have again been his wife Nicole, your wife Jennifer, and you. And that text was,
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so I can't, which bubble on which page?
Great comment here. He does. He's got that Gary Busey smile. Isn't that funny? He really does. It's kind of gone away now, though. It's so sad. He lost his Gary Busey smile. He's not so smiley. He's more red. He looks like a big red tomato now.
Right, on which page?
that's the page, 02148.
Okay, so I don't have
And
it.
the bubble is the second of the 3 bubbles.
So I don't have it.
I don't have.
I don't know what the objection's pertaining to. Jurors, I apologize that this is taking so long.
I apologize, Bev says to the jurors that I can't control my courtroom. That's what Bev is. She has no control over courtroom. Betterow is right. I know I've been saying that a lot tonight, but it's true. Betterow gives such good commentary. Bev has lost control of the courtroom. The constant interruptions, the bar, the objections. She doesn't even know half the time why they're objecting. And she mostly only does scold the defense, but you notice recently she did tell Lally to move it along. I think Bev is finally listening to the comments on YouTube. Move it along. We don't need to hear about the snow again, buddy.
You know what, Mr. Yannetti, why don't you?
This is that's for the court, Your Honor. And for the.
So you're objecting to it, so I'm not going to let you say what it is. You can show it to the witness.
Yes, will do.
Which one is this?
Second bubble on 02148. Then the third bubble on 02148. And then the first bubble on 02149. That's all I'll be asking him about.
Thank you.
All right, so I won't allow, based on the objection from the Commonwealth, the second bubble on 02148. I will allow the author of the third bubble
It,
on page 02148.
no. The second bubble on 02148,
Is not allowed into evidence.
I need to be heard on that then.
No,
Listen
all
to
right, I'll hear you at sidebar.
sidebar. Oh God. She stretched this out.
Court is back in session. Please be seated.
Stianetti.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I am not of the opinion that Bev is in on it, but I get why people think that. And believe me, I have my own suspicions about it. I don't believe she is. However, I get why people think that. I just think she's a bad judge. I just think she's lost control. And she's overbearing. She's trying to micromanage too much. It's like a teacher that tries to micromanage so much that they lose control of the classroom because no one listens to them. And I get it because I had a high school wrestling team that kind of turned on me as a coach because I think I did that as a young guy, as a wrestling coach. When you're so overbearing, you lose control. You can't do that. You got to let your athletes, you got to let your lawyers, you got to let them present the case. Got to let them present their defense. I mean, there's certain parameters you can set, but that should be set, it should be understood ahead of time. You shouldn't need all these sidebars constantly.
Mr. McCabe, when we broke, I was just about to ask you about the last exchange here. You will agree with me that on February 1st of 2022 at 12:51 and 49 seconds, you texted the group chat to say, ask Chris to ask some questions, correct?
Yep, I'm reading it right now. Yes, that's correct.
And who was the Chris you were referring to?
That would be Chris Albert.
Brian's brother, correct?
That is correct.
And then you then texted your wife, Brian.
Isn't this the truth too? Throughout this whole trial, both with the witnesses and the judge, too many bars. Too many bars. No. Micro Dots put out something great about bars. Like one dude's not going to pass the bar. The only one that was missing was bevy bar, sidebar bevy. Seriously, way too many bars in the McAlbert's life. Way too much drinking. Way too many sidebars in Bev's life.
And Nicole Albert, quote, tell them the guy never went in the house.
See, this is the thing. Someone said, I just think she's not as smart as most judges I've watched. I don't think that. I think that Bev is a smart person. And I do. I think that she just doesn't know how to manage. A lot of people can be very intelligent and not know how to manage things. And I think that her issue is management, people management and trial management. I think that's her issue.
Correct?
Yeah, that's part of the same text. Yes,
Mr. McCabe, who was the guy that you were referring to? Does he have a name?
that would be John O'Keefe.
When you told the group to tell them
Mm.
the guy never went in the house, that was you talking about how you should all get your stories straight, correct?
I would not doubt if this clown was taking photos. I mean, look at him. The more evidence for the feds, probably too. Like they're probably recording every screenshot of every picture he takes. So
No,
You would agree with me that your stories are all straight in terms of the guy never went in the house, correct?
Objection.
Can you answer that?
John never went in the house. It's not a story, it's a fact.
Well, when you said
well, you said John this time and not the guy, huh? Matt, now you're saying John? What about JJ? What about police officer John O'Keefe? What about that guy? Well, now you're saying John never went in the house? How come you call him that guy? What a joker, dude. Look at him how he's sitting up straight. He thought that was he thought he was doing a mic drop right there. He thought it's a fact. Here we go. This is the real mic drop. I can't wait for this. This is the best. This is why I love you, Eddie. He cut off his knee. He cut him off by the knees, gutted him. Watch this.
never went in the house. Brian Albert was on that exchange still, was he not? He was still part of the group text?
Yes, Brian is on the exchange.
And Brian Albert was the one to respond, wasn't he?
Let me switch pages here.
Let me switch pages. You know
He
exactly, you clown.
responded, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and then at that point, you knew Brian Albert was the oldest brother of the Albert family, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
The oldest sibling in that family, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And in his response to your instructions that his younger brother, Chris, should say that John O'Keefe never went in the house, or the guy never went.
And before we get to this final gutting, this is a good comment. He says, Matt's an IT recruiter, not an IT tech. Interesting. That would make sense, actually. Recruiters are, especially for IT, kind of like sales, like car salesman. That's what he looks like, actually. That would totally make sense. I think you're right, actually, too. And I'm pretty sure you know what you're talking about, Jay Adams. So that's a great point. Good point. Makes much more sense, especially when we're looking at him on the stand. Doesn't seem that technical. Seems like kind of a moron. Yeah, they're just salespeople. Exactly. Recruiters know nothing about tech, just sales. I think a lot of IT tech guys are guys that couldn't pass their Series 7 like I did. like seriously, they couldn't get into this like a higher end sales, so they end up in doing recruiting. I would never want to be a tech recruiter or any type of job recruiter. I mean, I know there are definitely respectable headhunters out there and all that, but a lot of them are just, well, we'll leave it at that. And again, I don't like to shit on anyone who works for a living. Yeah, I know it's hard work too. So
In the House. You would agree with me that he responded with one word, correct?
Yes, he did.
me too, brother. I had a 7 for over 10 years. It's not active anymore either.
And in response to you saying the guy never went in the House, Brian Albert's response was exactly correct.
Yes, that's his response.
We're done here.
We're done here. Boom, mic drop. We're done here because you're done, dude. Good night. Oh, look at his face right there. He knows he's friggin' done. The judge even has to come in. Like, just watch. I don't know. I think I cut it off before the judge comes back. But this is like gutting. We're done here.
I'd like to ask,
Look at his face at the end. We're done here.
we're done here.
We're done here. I could listen to that all day. Yannetti is so good. We're done here. Look like he just like, oh my
Yes,
God.
he did.
And in response to you saying the guy never went in the House, Brian Albert's response was exactly correct.
Yes, that's his response.
We're done here.
Look at him turn to the judge and then probably Lally. You're done, Matt. He doesn't look relieved. I mean, now he's got Lally to come back at him, ask a couple questions, and I think Yannetti had one more question, but that was it. Look at his face. Dunzo, boy. You're done. Cooked. Red as a lobster. He's in the lobster pot, boiling. We're done here, buddy. All over. Game over. Awesome. Awesome. Often. Unbelievable. Yeah, he is. That was such a good finish. We're done here. I think we're done with the show tonight, too. It went a little longer than I thought. It took us 2 hours to get through a quick video, but I hope it was worth it. I had fun tonight with you all. I want to thank you all for watching, listening, commenting. We got 28 super chats that came through tonight. That's amazing. Thank you so much for supporting and donating. Someone said they're asking about Biden, about politics. Do we really want to go back to politics? One question: do you think Biden has moral intentions? Yes or no? I would ask Beverly, who asked that question, do you think Trump has moral intentions? Because I think Biden cares about helping people more than Trump. Now, that doesn't mean that I think Biden is as pure as snow or anything. I think, like all politicians, he plays to a lot of different constituents. But for me, Trump only cares about one person, and that's himself. I mean, that's my issue with Trump. I think he's an egomaniac. I don't think Joe Biden is an egomaniac. And what I like about Joe Biden, like me, he suffers from speech impediments. Here's a mumbling guy who's president. They want to bash the shit out of him. How much of an ego can that guy have? And the whole world's bashing him for being stupid and dumb. He's not a dumb guy. He hasn't lost a step. He's just got a speech impediment like I do. people look down on us because we sometimes stumble on our words. It's like, give me a break. And I think Joe Biden, just like me, probably tests well. And it's so funny because when I was a kid, they thought I was slow because of my speech impediments. Then I took the written test and they were like, holy shit, this kid's testing at the top of their class. He's not dumb. So I think that's Joe Biden right there. You guys all underestimate the guy, but he's got mad skills. He's a smart guy. Let's forget politics tonight. I don't want to talk about Trump and Biden. I hate that shit. I really do. I'm so done with politics. I used to do a lot of politicians on this show. I'm done with it. Furious writes, Karen Reed was arrested February 1st at 9:30. No information was available until the second arraignment. How would Channel 4 know how to go ask Chris Albert at D&E at that point? Texts were on the 1st. Exactly. More information has come out, like you just presented. It seems like that is bullshit. That, especially when they bring D&E into it. Nobody knew about D&E Pizza at that point. No one knew about Chris Albert. So, yeah, I think you got a great point there, Furious. The McAlberts continue to lie, and it's obvious, and it's easily provable. They're not good liars. They're not used to people checking on their bullshit. It's pretty obvious. They can't stand the scrutiny, the public eyes. There's too many public eyes watching them to get away with the lies. And at this point, you'd think that they would smarten the F up and realize they can't get away with lying. Your lies aren't going to work, McAlberts. Jennifer McCabe, your lies on Tuesday will not work. You have two choices: plead the fifth or shut the F up, or tell lies. Or just tell the truth and see, those are your choices. Tell lies, get called out for being a liar, plead the fifth, or actually tell the truth. Those are your choices. If I were you, I would just plead the fifth. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not trying to witness intimidate. I'm just saying this is reality. Your lies aren't going to work on anybody anymore. Yeah, sunlight is the best disinfectant. That is the truth. That's what's so good about all of our eyeballs and this community. You're not going to let them get away with it. Yeah, and I would suggest, I like this comment from Anne Marie. She said, Google Sandra Birchmore. We also did a couple live shows on it, so you can also check our YouTube. I would just go to our 2 interviews we did with Mizzy that I did. If you want more on Sandra Birchmore too, you can look on our YouTube. Just Google Sandra Birchmore Young Jerks. It will pop right up. But I think people should look into Sandra Birchmore too. It's another case that happened in Canton. Her death happened in Canton. The scandal was really with the Stoughton Police Department. But it's overlapping. No doubt about it. The same district attorney too. And some of the same cops from Canton and the investigation. And it's the same theme. Cops covering for cops. Happens a lot, right? There's a comment here. My son has one in his total engineer mind, wicked smart, all AP and advanced honors, got into Penn State, Maine, on early admittance. My son, so basically people with speech impediments can be very intelligent. No doubt about it. All right. I want to thank you all for staying up late with me and watching me. A lot of you stayed with me, and I think Turtle was on tonight. Usually I don't like to go up against him. I like to watch it myself. I don't even know if he did a live show tonight. I'm pretty sure he did. But I want to thank you all for sticking with me and watching and sharing and having my back. It feels good to have that community support behind me. We got each other's back. We'll see you. I don't know when again. Like I said, I think I'm taking tomorrow night off. I'm going to try to spend time with my girlfriend. We have some plans. Hopefully, I may guest co-host. I may be a guest on another podcast tomorrow afternoon too, before we go out and have the girlfriend time. And Monday night, I'm pretty sure I'm taking off as well. because she records a podcast. She has a great music podcast that people like, and she's due to record. So I have to give up the studio time to her. She's been giving it up to me every night. She's my biggest supporter. Thank God I have her. So it's time for her to record her podcast, I think on Monday night. So I may be off a couple nights. I've been going every night. It might be a good time just to take a couple nights off. I'm pretty sure we'll be back on Tuesday night. We'll definitely be streaming live, no commentary, Tuesday morning. Jennifer McCabe. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for supporting and recognizing me, all the comments and feedback I get. I really appreciate it. All the super chat donations. We got 29 of them tonight. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. And let's hope it stops raining. I just want to check the Venmo real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, it looks like we're good. Perfect. Everything came through super chat tonight, it looks like. So I think we're good, right? Yep. Awesome. I'm going to check the Cash App once real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm not. Perfect. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you definitely Tuesday morning for the live stream and probably Tuesday night. And who knows if we might do something in between. We'll see. If you don't, please subscribe to us. A lot of you like and follow and share the content, but about half of you watch and you don't subscribe. Please subscribe so you can keep updated. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you very soon. Have a great and safe rest of your weekend. Good night, everyone. We're done.